for the game tonight. So I'll keep it simple with this intro question. Princess costume. I had every single one, all the little heels that matched up. My mom actually still has all the heels. So yeah, but I would specifically say Belle.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's my favorite.
yeah. My mom was really into. She had to make all the costumes for me. She really she would spend months and then
Oh wow.
get mad at me if I grew too close to Halloween. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
That's awesome. Little handmade costume. All right, well, let's take a look back at last Thursday's game against the Bobcats.
Yeah, Lauren, and we talked about the series prior to this one being in Mason City. It was an offensive explosion for the Tauros. The series, or I should say game one of this series this weekend, didn't produce the same amount of scoring. Really good hockey game from both teams, really good goaltending as well. But it was the Bobcats who stole the 1-0 victory over the Tauros. Chase Reed gets his first goal in a Bobcat uniform. Plenty of opportunities for both teams, but just met with some good goaltending, and that kept it a one-goal game. So, Ken, you talked about it earlier in the pregame show before game one of the good defenses and the good goaltendings that both teams have.
Yeah, it made for a very well-defended game, although both goalies did have to make some big saves, and both did come up huge when they had to. Just the one really good shot by Reed was the difference, and I don't know that there was much Lucas could have done about it.
Yeah.
All right, now turning our attention back to tonight's game against the Bobcats, let's look at the updated Noodles numbers brought to you by Noodles & Company of Minot. So we are currently standing at 6-4-0, as Bismarck is standing at 12-0. Yeah, we lost the game on Thursday, so our current record this season against them is 0-1.
Yeah, offense continues to click along despite last Thursday's game for both teams, both still over 3 goals a game. Tauros goals against drops despite the loss, down to an even 2. Bismarck 1.33 goals against, but again, some of that, you look at, I think I talked about on the street, 178 minutes without allowing a goal for Thomas Anderson in net for them. So at some point the dam's going to break, and that number should start to creep up, and you hope if you're a Tauros fan that it's tonight.
Yeah, Ken, and I talked about on Tauros All Access this week. I do feel like if the Tauros produce the same defensive performance that they did on Thursday night, I think they'll be in a good position to potentially take this game too. But we'll see. Anything can happen. I think we have 2 really good hockey teams. The 12-0 record speaks for itself for Bismarck, and obviously the Tauros played this Bismarck team very competitively last year. So I think we're in for another good game here tonight between the two teams.
Special teams as well. Not much happened in special teams on
Yep.
Thursday night. Not a lot of chances, really. Tauros had, one power play that was really only 57 seconds. Bismarck had 2, but theirs was also split 57 seconds on either side of a 4-on-4. So, and then they had 1 full power play otherwise. Both penalty kills played like you would expect for penalty kills that are both top 10 in the league. Again, the difference maybe tonight will be Tauros have been more disciplined overall on the season. 82 penalty minutes for the Tauros, 180 for Bismarck.
Yeah, and talk about discipline too. Obviously for the Tauros, head coach Cody Campbell, and then for Bismarck, Garrett Roth. I think 2 coaches that understand what this game means in terms of the competitiveness between the 2 teams and the level of play, that you can't afford to go to the penalty box all that often. So I think we saw that on Thursday night, but you'd like to think that maybe there'll be a couple more opportunities tonight.
All right, it's time to look at our Minotauros Booster Club players to watch, starting with Ken with his choice of John Small for tonight.
Yeah, I'm going with John Small. You look at the Tauros, 6-4-0 on the season, as you mentioned, Lauren, but in 2 of those games, the Tauros have been shut out. In the other 8, John Small has a point. So I look for the Tauros not to get shut out 2 games in a row, and if the Tauros aren't getting shut out, that means John Small's on the scoreboard. So let's let's see if Smallsy can get going here early.
Yeah, I'm going to take Macklin Morelli in the lineup tonight, played 2 games so far for the Toros. No points on the year so far, but you talk about someone who knows this Minot-Bismarck rivalry more than the Morelli family. Obviously, Mackley's brother, Mason Morelli, played for the Toros. Mackley played high school here, Team North Dakota, knows all about it. So I'm going with that pick, and if Mackley can net one, I think this place will go into a frenzy.
Yeah, I've seen... Well, beyond Matt, his dad, Matt, sent some ticket requests through this morning when he found out that Mackley's in the lineup. So there's going to be a lot of Morelli family here. There's going to be a lot of Morelli friends here. So, yeah, I think, as long as they've been in this community forever, he pots one, the roof's going to blow off this place.
Yeah.
Electric. I don't usually or every time have a player to watch, but we had a new arriver come yesterday, Landon Fleming. He's literally brand new as of yesterday, coming from the Oklahoma Warriors. He was previously a Bismarck Bobcat, not last season, but the season before that. And he will be playing tonight. So I think this may be a little bit of like a revenge game.
A double revenge game. Garrett Roth, the Bobcats head coach, coached Oklahoma last season. So revenge game again. Not that there was anything that happened in Oklahoma that would specifically need revenge, but the double revenge game. He gets his former coach and his former team. So I think that's a strong pick. Not gonna lie, it was going to be my pick before you snagged him.
I got in there first today,
meeting,
so that will bring us to our home key group keys to the game. Ken, what are your keys to tonight's game?
The first one is just solve Tomas Anderson, right? Second shutout in a row. The game before that, he gave up a goal 3 minutes and 22 seconds into the game against Austin and then shut the door the rest of the way. So we're going on almost 9 full periods of hockey since he's given up a goal. So they've got to get one by him, and hopefully then, as good of a goalie as he is, still his save percentage probably won't be what it is now. You hope that maybe he gives up a couple just to get back to sort of his expected numbers. My second key to the game, a fast start. Bobcats came out on Thursday night and they controlled the first 6 minutes of that game, really set the tone. The Toros did push back, and then the Bobcats answered with that quick goal, and it was pretty even the rest of the way. So hopefully the Toros can get off to a better start in the building tonight. And then my third one, clean breaks. I thought too many defensive zone turnovers led to sustained offensive pressure for Bismarck on Thursday. Lucas Sweden bailed him out with some big saves, but Toros need to do a better job getting out of the zone against Bismarck.
Yeah, Ken, one thing I do take note from this is the fast start. We saw the Toros drop the first game against St. Cloud in the home opening weekend at Mesa Arena. Came back Saturday night, potted a goal within the first minute of the game, and that set the tone for the rest of the way. So if the Toros can do something similar to that, I think they put themselves in a good spot here tonight.
All right, Minotaurs fans, it's time to take out your phones and pull up the Tauros mobile app for your chance to win prizes throughout tonight's game. Our first game is the Four Bears Sportsbook over-unders. Starting with, our first one is total Tauros first period goals. Are we over or under 0.5?
I'll take the over. Just going, to Ken's keys of the game, fast start. I think if the Toros can do that, like I said, they're in a good position.
I'm going over as well, not necessarily from just what we've seen from last Thursday, but also, like I said, almost 9 full periods without giving up a goal for Tomas Anderson. No goalie can play that well for that long of a stretch, so I got to think sometime in the first 20 minutes of the game, he'll finally make a mistake again, and the Toros will be able to get on the board.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the over here. I'm sorry I'm not being original with that. I want to see a goal, and I want to see it produced early on and not by the Bobcats. So, there you go. Our second one is total Tauros goals in general for the whole game. Is it over under 3.5?
For this one, I'm going to go over as well. I don't know. Again, we filmed this earlier in the day, so I don't know for sure that Anderson is in net either, but I have a feeling Toros responded well to losing last time they were home to St. Cloud with a good win on Saturday. And again, I expect this team to have a good response game tonight, and that includes getting a few up on the board.
Yeah, I'm going to go under on it. 2 good goaltenders. You mentioned Tomas Anderson, really good shutout performance Thursday night, but then also the previous Saturday against Watertown. I think we're going to see another really close game, real tight game, and I expect a low scoring.
Yeah, I'm going to go under just for the fact that we saw very great performances by both defenses on Thursday, and I just think that saying above 3.5 is kind of a bold claim. little kid in there.
And then the final one, Tauros shots on goal plus 5.5. It's shot differential, sorry. I'm going to go over on this as well. I thought, with the exception of the first 6 minutes on Thursday, the Tauros had most of the better of the play. Anderson was the difference. So I expect the Tauros to continue to outshoot their opponents no matter who they are.
I'll go under again. Like I said, I think it's going to be a close game, and even if the Tauros do get out to a little bit of a lead in the third period, maybe sit back and take some shots on that, more defensively.
I'm going to go over just for the fact that we did have more shots on goal on Thursday than the Bobcats did, as well as the fact that I think we're going to come into this game hungry for a win, and we're just going to be shooting. So, yeah.
All right, that'll bring us to our McDonald's trivia question. Where do the Tauros and the Bobcats play their annual preseason war? I'm not even going to let you guys try and guess. I know you both know the answer to this. Fans, I hope you know the answer to this as well. So download the Tauros Hockey mobile app, open the interactive tab, win yourself a free lunch from our friends at Dakota Drive McDonald's, including their new location up on North Hill. I stopped there last night. Place was buzzing.
All
There you
right.
go.
And that will do it for the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. Now we'll turn it over to Josh Carlock for tonight's starting lineups.
The Magic City. For folks who ain't familiar with the term charge ahead, well, this barn brings a whole new meaning. Hours spent training to be the best, to really show what it means to be a Minotauro. Folks, this is where hockey happens.
Shot it's in. Jack O'Hannison. John Small gives the Tauros the lead once again. Shot it's in. Bobby Volk is second of the night. Swedes has it, rings it. Tauros win. And it is loud in here. The Tauros get the second Central Cup in franchise history. Backhand it's in. Murray, Marvin, Cordes. 3-0 Tauros. Uhala is second of the night. High corner centers a shot for Small. It's in. Shot it's in. Short-handed goal. Is there a better place to play junior hockey than Minot, North Dakota? SRT Communications starting lineup. And you know from Stockholm, Sweden, number 60, Lucas Sweden. On defense from Redwood Falls, Minnesota, number 3, Jordan Gibbs. center captain, Peyton Kerwin. Your Toros are led by Cody Campbell. He is assisted by Tyler Ebner and Wyatt Wazalenchuk. Toro fans, at this time we ask that you rise as you are able as the Minot Air Force Base Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. And performing our national anthem is Monica Paget.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And good evening, fans, and welcome inside Mesa Arena for Saturday Night Toros hockey. It's Toros, it's Bobcats. I'm Edward Neiman, joined alongside by Ken Oda. Ken, Toros looking to avoid the weekend sweep, looking to hand the Bobcats their first loss of the year. Bobcats coming to this one with a perfect 12-0 record atop the Central Division.
Should be an interesting matchup. I thought the Toros for, 48, 49 minutes were the better team on Thursday, but Tomas Anderson made that irrelevant, continuing his shutout streak. It's up to 176 minutes and 38 seconds coming into this one.
As you mentioned, Anderson, he pitched the first shutout of the year for Bismarck the Saturday prior to Thursday night against Watertown and came in. And despite the Toros out shooting the Bobcats, kept it a scoreless game, and the one goal by Chase Reed was enough. Puck is down. Away we go. Saturday night hockey on the Pepsi Rink. Toros control off the draw. It's Yahala taking it across into the offensive zone along the far side. He'll dump it into the corner. Puck's rung to the near side. James is in pursuit of the loose puck. Leto working up against the boards with Yahala's pinned up in the Toro offensive zone. It's rung around the back of the net. Gibbs pursues a one-timer there for Ohannesson. Just fanned down a little bit. Puck will squirt to the near side. Bobcats try to work it out. Batten with a quick shot that goes off the pad of Anderson and rolls into the near side corner. Bobcats control as they'll take it back out in the neutral zone. It's Kene bringing it in to the Toro territory. Quick centering shot there. Couldn't find a home. Lato was in on the action there. Puck chopped up to Trevino and worked back into the near side corner. It's Dahl working it around the Toro net. Big collision there as puck is freed up and controlled by the Toros. As Gibbs will turn this back up ice.
That Toros' first possession was prolonged by a very good pinch by Ty James, coming down from the blue line below the hash marks to keep the pressure alive.
This puck is
That's a hand pass. There's the whistle.
thrown back out of neutral, and as you mentioned, Ken, a hand pass. So play will be whistled dead. 18:48 to go. First period of play. You know, all of these games get me excited, but I will say this one tonight, something a little special. Obviously, the trunk or treat event to precede, but a really good crowd inside the Toros' home building here. Neutral zone draws controlled by the Toros. Mahler will take it in his own zone. He'll give it to Fleming, a new addition here for the Toros. This puck's chopped down the near side. Anderson out of his net will work it to the near side to Kim. Kim will cross ice passes to Sandvin in neutral zone. It's given back to Sipnewski. Sipnewski back to Sandvin. Sandvin's shot gets blocked in front of the Toro net and sent back into the Bobcat zone. Bobcats will work back out. Kim gives it to Sandvin. Sandvin far side to Sipnewski. Sipnewski will dump it in, and the Bobcats will pursue after a puck that's quickly controlled and taken away by the Toros.
This pairing with Mahler and Fleming, a lot of veteran presence on it for the Toros. Mahler, of course, in his third year in Minot.
Opportunity there for the Bobcats as Gaspar just decided to do a little fly around there. Svedin was in good position there for a save. This puck's pinned up against the boards here, near side corner, 17:30 to go, first period of play. Tui and Funker in on the action. Funk's the one to free it up for the Toros. He'll work it to the far side to Edwards. Edwards will shovel it high up into the air as it will settle its way back down to the neutral zone. Kren will dump it in for the Bobcats, but Tui's back behind the Toro net to control. Hagstrom up the near side. He tries to find Dress. Dress can't get a stick on it, so puck will trickle behind the Bismarck net. Anderson give it to the near side. Bobcats working back up ice. It's Kene pursuing one across the blue line as the puck is thrown back down to the near side. Toro's poking at it. Lato doing a nice job here keeping it in possession as Dahl couldn't get a stick on it in front of the Toro's net. Sent back down to the near side corner. Both teams hacking away at it. Toros come up. It's Morelli carrying it up the near side. Morelli getting his, I guess, third game in action so far this year for the Toros. And we talk about the Morelli family and the history that they have here in Minot in the state of North Dakota. And perhaps nobody knows this rivalry better than them. Bucks in the Toro offensive zone, stuck up against the boards. Bismarck frees it up. It's Dahl who is working up against Ohannesson. Ohannesson with some really nice defense there as Dahl has to labor pretty hard to get that one free. Dahl will control, give it to Bannister. Bannister looks back down towards the direction of Rowan as the puck will roll the distance for an icing.
Looking to finish that thought on Mahler and Fleming. Mahler, 119 games in Cream and Cardinal for the Toros. Split between a game in Janesville, 42 in Bismarck, and 67 with Oklahoma. Fleming has played 110 NAHL games on the back end. 10 goals, 13 assists for him. Mahler, 16 goals and 31 helpers. So I imagine a defense pair that Cody Campbell will lean on in big situations.
There's a quick shot that's shoved towards the net by Batten. Batten got an offensive zone turnover with a dangerous pass by Bismarck and front of their own net. Tauros still working. It's O'Hannison trying to find Fleming towards the center of the ice. Puck will roll down to Svedin. Svedin will give it to the near side to Mahler. Mahler works it back up into neutral zone. Batten couldn't get a stick on it, so Bobcats behind their own net. They'll control as we will get a whistle. I believe that's O'Hannison that's down on the ice for the Tauros, as the Tauros are going to go to the First Western Bank and Trust power play. Ian Engel.
High stick the call.
To the box. You know, Ken, the penalty box was a little quiet last night. Tauros with one extra man opportunity.
And it was abbreviated, only 57 seconds coming after a 4-on-4.
So a very clean game, but you like to think that tonight perhaps we'll maybe give each teams a few more opportunities on special teams. Draw is going to come out to the right side of Tomas Anderson.
They're going to toss Uhala from this draw.
Batten will go in. Draw is sent to the near side as Sandvin digs at it in the near side corner for Bismarck. Puck's freed up and cleared.
Good
Almost
keep
cleared
by Ty James.
by Trevino. Trevino was trying to send that on the neutral zone. Ty James with a nice stick to keep it in. Puck will squirt back out into the Toro zone though, so James will work from behind the Toro net. He gives near side to Yahala. Yahala across the blue line in the offensive zone will dump it in. Batten will chase after one as it's worked up against the boards. It's Yahala, Spencer, and Batten. O'Hannison and James out there for the Toros. James from the far side point, he'll skate it to Yahala. Yahala, that was some good defense there by Sandvin, as Sandvin's the one to break that offensive zone, push up and clear it for the Bobcats. 1:09 to go on the power play. 14:24 to go in the first period. Yahala tries to get a stick on one in the near side. Rowan breaks it up in neutral zone, sends it back out into the Toros territory. It's Spencer skating deep with it. He'll reset and give it to Mahler. Mahler leaves it for Small. Small will enter the neutral zone and throw it in to the offensive zone. It's so shot goes wide of the net by Mahler. Aucoin will gather this one along the near side corner. Aucoin skates in. He fires one through traffic. It was Edwards standing in front of the Bismarck net. Couldn't get a tip onto that one. Toro still working. Aucoin will give it to Dress. Dress to the blue line to Mahler. Mahler will give it to Small. Small back up top to Dress. Dress to Mahler. Mahler back far side to Small. Toros give it to Aucoin. Aucoin with a one-timer there.
Goaltender's lost his stick.
Rebound out to the right. Aucoin with another one-timer. That one tipped through traffic as the Toro power play is expiring here. As puck fired in and covered by Anderson. That was Dress with an opportunity. Toros unsuccessful on the first power play opportunity of the evening. Nevertheless, though, a few good opportunities there on Anderson. And you like to think if the Toros can continue to put shots on net, eventually something will have to give. Toros with an offensive zone draw coming to Anderson's left side. So it's going to be Chuck Owens on the draw for the Toros. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Bismarck will control off the draw. Puck will be sent behind the Bismarck net. Morelli's working up against two Bismarck defenders. Bismarck will finally free this one up. It's Kine. He'll give it to Carlson. Carlson across the blue line will leave it for Dahl. Dahl, little miscommunication as the puck went off his stick. As the Toros take over in their own zone, Hagstrom works it far side to Morelli. Morelli pressured against the boards. He'll enter the offensive zone and fire one that goes high, up and out of play.
A nice move along the wall by Morelli to beat the defender and get to the middle.
Two Bismarck defenders there pressuring. Morelli does a nice job, as you said, to keep that play alive. Toros out shooting Bobcats to start this one through about almost 8 minutes of play, 5-1. Get to some check-ins here on social media. Doreen Arkema and Dean Nohaney's Dad watching on NATV. Sally B and the Chicago crew checking in. Kim Nelson aboard on Facebook. As Smalls in on the offensive zone draw for the Toros. As Buck has worked to the far side, both teams chopping at it. Bismarck gathers it for a brief moment. Toros defense doing a nice job to keep this one alive
Big
for the
hit
time
by
being.
Mahler.
Bismarck will work out of their own zone. It's Trevino into the neutral zone. He'll give it to Rowan. Rowan with an opportunity here. Will fire one and hit the back of the net. Rowan will beat Lucas Svedin to the top left corner to give Bismarck an early 1-0 advantage.
Toros didn't realize they had to delay it offside, so they were starting the attack. And then had to peel back at the last second when they finally realized or heard the linesman. That led to a bit of confusion in the neutral zone, and Cats ended up going the other way, scoring on the rush.
And it was about this time last night where Bismarck found the back of the net, and in similar fashion, I mean, the Toros have done a nice job here early, getting some offensive zone looks. Just good job there by Bismarck to once again find the board first. So the Toros will send it into the offensive zone. Bannister's behind the Bismarck net. He'll chop it to the near side corner. Rafalski in there for Bismarck. Edwards will find a pass. Was intended for Funk in the center ice. As Bismarck will take this back out of the neutral zone. Vig will dump it in for the Toros. Fedin out of his net will send it to the near side. Rafalski chases after that one and rings it back around the Toro net. Both teams working far side corner. Toros control this one. Edwards will fire it off the far side boards as it'll end back up into the neutral zone. Puck fired up and out of play off of Svedin's blocker. 11:36 to go in the first period.
Cody Campbell arguing the shot came from outside the zone, so the draw should be outside the zone. I don't think he's going to get that call, though.
So the draw is going to come out to Svedin's right side. It's Uhala, Batten, Fleming, Mahler, and O'Hannison out there for the Toros. Uhala on the draw. Toros control this one. O'Hannison works it along the far side boards as Sandvin tries to keep it in the offensive zone. Delayed offside, so Bismarck is going to have to peel off. It's worked along the near side boards into the neutral zone. Batten will flick this one in for the Toros. It's controlled by Bismarck. Toros with a nice job. It's Fleming who set one off the pad of Anderson that goes up and out of play for another whistle.
Toros out shooting the Bobcats 6-2 as we look at the goaltending matchup.
Talk about Tomas Anderson, a 1.122 goals against average. As he continues to look really good in net for this Bismarck team. Yahala will win the offensive zone draw. Hannison fires one off Bismarck defender, so Bismarck will skate it back into the offensive zone. It's Carlson going after one in the far side corner. It's rung around the net to the near side. Toros take over. Batten to the far side to Mahler. Mahler across the blue line gets taken down by Sipniewski. Toros working around the net. Hannison just missed out on a really good pass to the center of the ice. Bismarck turning up the other way. It's Sipniewski firing one off the blocker of Svedin. It goes high up into the air. It settles down behind the Toro net. Fleming and Hagstrom working on that one for the Toros. Puck's pinned in the near side corner. Sipniewski in there for Bismarck puck. Finally freed up. It's Fleming who comes away with it. He gives it to Hagstrom. Hagstrom along the far side boards. He'll throw it off the glasses. It'll be cleared into the Bismarck zone. Toros will go for a change as this is called for an icing. Icings are brought to you by Minot's finest collision center.
Adam Mahler getting looked at on the bench. Seems to be okay. Usually a good sign when he stays on the bench as opposed to going down the hallway. With the training room being back next to the locker room. If he's staying on the bench, that's usually a pretty good sign. He's got his helmet back on as well, so I think whatever it was, Mahler's good to go for his next shift.
Hagstrom works the draw free into the neutral zone. He just chops it down the ice, so Bismarck will control this one as Ladle will give it near side. Ladle was crashing the net, just couldn't quite get a clean look on a pass from Dahl. Bismarck still working as Bannister fires one on net. Rebound out to the far side. Morelli will take this one back into the neutral zone for the Tauros. Tabulis skating into the offensive zone alongside Morelli from the far side corner. Gives it to Owens. Owens will fire one that just goes wide left of the net. Tauros gather and control. Morelli looks to leave it for Owens. Tabulis will chase after one to the far side as Gibbs will fire one off the blocker of Anderson. Puck carries to the near side as Bannister will dump this one in as the Bobcats go for a change. Tauros back out of neutral zone. Spencer couldn't get a stick on it.
That last rush up ice for the Tauros, it was Hagstrom and Dahl behind the play who were tied up. Hagstrom got the better of it.
Small in the neutral zone. He'll clear this one into the offensive zone. Spencer will work up along with Sandvin as Small will fire one off of Anderson. Another good opportunity there for the Tauros. They continue to get pressure in the offensive zone. Bismarck works us back on the neutral zone. It's Rowan to Roloffs. Roloffs will just flick this one into the Tauros defense. Tauros will work out of their own zone. Rowan will gather this one for the Bobcats. Reed will throw it cross ice to Vig. Vig once again will just clear this in for the Bobcats. Tauros will chase after it. Perot gives it near side to Spencer. Spencer works it across ice to Edwards. Edwards will dump this one in and chases. The Tauros get some fresh legs out on the ice. 8:23 to go. First period of play. Shots on goal still in favor of the Tauros, 7-4. It's Trevino firing one into traffic. Bobcats in the offensive zone. Rowan near side corner as Gaspar takes over. Gaspar working up against Mahler. He'll give it to Kren as Kren gets a shot denied in front of the Toro net. Puck to the near side as Fleming will work it around the Toro net. Give to Edwards along the far side. Edwards can't find anyone. Gaspar takes a big hit along the far side boards. Bobcats still skating in as it's taken around the net by Kren. Kren will work it back out. Another shot chopped at it, fired
Big
on
save
net.
by Swedes.
That was Kren with a good opportunity there for Bismarck as another shot's fired on net. This one soaked up and held by Svedin.
Smart play at the end after the whistle as well by Brandon Funk. Keanu Kren jawing at him afterwards, but Kren wears a full cage, so you're not going to be able to fight. So smart play to just skate away.
So that'll bring us to our media timeout.
And leadership skills. She is already being a mentor to the other 32 airmen that have arrived at our shop in the last 2 months and has become a pivotal trainer for the flight's largest section. Her positive attitude and work ethic is contagious. We would like to give this opportunity to show what the Minot community has to offer and as a reward for her hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, Airman Jessica Taylor.
Our Northern Century salute. Both teams breaking from the media timeout. Shots now even on net, 7-7.
Toros got out to an early good start, but things have evened up since the Bismarck goal. If you want to hand this Bismarck team their first loss, you know it's not going to be easy.
So the draw comes out to Svedin's left side. Yahala's on the draw for the Toros. Toros work free. It's Batten given it to Johannesson in the neutral zone. Johannesson will chip this into the offensive zone as Bannister chases after it for the Bobcats. Bobcats work it back out of the neutral zone, and chased after is Sipniewski. Sipniewski working up against Gibbs. He'll just fire one towards the direction of the net as Bobcats will give it to Carlson. Carlson will fire one wide left of the net. It'll ring along the far side boards. Bannister hacks this one in. The Bobcats continue to work in the offensive zone. This is worked to the center of the ice to Kim. Kim skating through some traffic will backhand one towards the net. Puck thrown to the near side. Kim will give it up to Roloffs. Roloffs skating behind the net of Swedin. Good job there by Yahala to free that puck up as it's hacked down the boards. As Batten will pick this one up in the neutral zone. Batten gains the line, will fire one that's blocked through traffic by Bismarck as they'll corral this one and work it out of their own zone. This is carried into the offensive zone. Shot that went off the pad of Sverdin. Leto was in on that one. Down will have a nice stick there to keep this in the offensive zone. Tauros taken away. It's Tabulis in the neutral zone. Gives it near side to Morelli. Morelli across the blue line. He'll leave it for Owens. Owens fires one into the glove of Anderson for a whistle.
Morelli has looked good. This whole line has looked good in their looks so far early. Owens is probably the two best shots on goal for the Tauros so far this evening.
So the Tauros will have an offensive zone draw. Tabulis, the other forward out there for the Tauros. He'll come in on the draw. Tabulis with 2 goals on the year so far. Leto's in for Bismarck as Bismarck will control the draw and work
Good
it
step
back.
up by Hagstrom.
Dow was trying to get a stick on that one. Tauros do a nice job keeping the offensive zone as it's thrown around the net of Anderson. Owens working in the far side corner. Morelli will clean this one up as 2 Bismarck defenders will crash in on that one to free the puck up. Thrown off the boards as Dow will chip it into the neutral zone. Tui will chase after a puck that goes the distance for an icing.
Tauros maybe catch a break there. That icing the result of Hagstrom stepping up and crashing into the Bobcat player. They still call it an icing and don't allow the Bobcats to change.
Draw once again will come to Anderson's right side. It's Small in on the draw now. Spencer and Coin will join the ice on the forward group. As a quick shot off the draw goes off the pad of Anderson, work near side. As Dow will throw it to Leto in the neutral zone. Leto carries it across the blue line, will skate to the far side and around the Toro net. He tries to stop in the far side corner. Mahler with some good defense to pin Leto up against the boards. It's Kopetsky in on the help, puck freed up as Bismarck will hack this to the near side boards. Fleming will throw it to Spencer in the neutral zone. Spencer skates up the near side. He's met the good stick from Roloffs. Toro still working the offensive zone. Small backing out when Spencer tries to center a pass there. A Coin was sitting in the center of the ice as this puck is taken back across the blue line to the offensive zone for Bismarck. Roloffs throws it cross ice to the far side. Ladle, or excuse me, I believe that was Angle hacking one in as Bismarck will still control and carry it along the far side boards. Puck skated in, thrown off a Toro defender. Toros create a lot of traffic in front of the net to cut off the opportunity for Bismarck. Toros carry it back out in the neutral zone. Small gives it to Spencer. Spencer back to Small. Small fires one off of Anderson. Puck rebound out to the far side as it'll eventually find its way back to Anderson as it's covered and held for a whistle. 4:37 to go. Toros out shooting the Bobcats 10-8 so far.
Good patience by the Toros as they enter the zone, but still a lot of shots from distance as we're approaching a 9th full period without Anderson allowing a goal. And you've got to take away his eyes. You've got to get to the front, and you're probably going to need something that's a little bit greasier than shots from distance.
Bismarck back in the offensive zone. Gaspar will carry this around the net. Vig fires one towards the front of the net. Toros, another good stand here in net. This puck is thrown to the far side corner and eventually turned up. It's Gaspar firing one wide left of the net. Puck will carry him off the boards. Roloffs will skate in as the puck will be pinned to the near side. That was Rafalski in on the action for Bismarck. Kren will chop it down to Gaspar. Gaspar from the near side corner. He tries to get a handle, work it back up to Rafalski. Rafalski will fire one from the blue line. Off the pad, off the blocker, of Svedin. Up and out of play for another whistle.
A little bit more offensive zone time for both squads tonight than on Thursday. Thursday's game felt like it was mostly played in neutral ice. This one, both teams trading chances. I will say, though, at least early, it's the better chances have been Bismarck's.
Both goaltenders making good saves last night, but as far as quality looks get, weren't a whole lot. Good defense and good goaltending for both squads. Tauros skate this out of their own zone. It's Yahala carrying it up the far side boards. He gets poked at as the puck's taken away by Bismarck. Bismarck will throw this back into the Tauros zone. Tauros control. Thrown off the boards as the puck will rebound into the Bismarck territory. Batten will work at one and along the near side boards. Bobcats will take this one away as Rakowski. Raskowski gets his shot taken away. Yahala will give it to Batten. Batten works it towards the net. Oh, Hannison is
delayed
in front
call
of it.
coming. He got cross-checked in the head.
That's going to draw a call. So the Tauros are going to go back to the First Western Bank and Trust power play for the second time tonight with 3:15 to go in this first period of play. We'll get another look at the call here. Indeed, Hannison was checked to the head there, so the Tauros with an opportunity to draw things even. Yahala's in on the draw for the Tauros. The Tauros will briefly control the draw. Anderson was trying to get a stick on this one. Trevino will take it behind Bobcat net. Bobcats working on the far side boards. Tauros hack at it, keep it in the offensive zone. Batten will give it to Yahala. Yahala working up against Trevino, and the defense is enough to free the puck up as the Bobcats will clear it back down the ice. Svedin was out of his net. He'll give it to James. James will reset his, he'll pass it to Yahala near side. Yahala's pass across the neutral zone gets tipped up and out of play by Rowan with 1:29 to go on the extra man advantage.
Tauros losing some board battles here on the power play. Makes it hard to set up zone time. I thought the first power play they did all right.
So the draw comes back out of the neutral zone. Small will win the draw for the Tauros. It's worked to the near side to Mahler. Mahler will skate into the Tauros zone as he gives it to Dress. Dress cross ice in the neutral zone to Small. Small will leave it for Mahler. Mahler will carry it across the blue line, give it far side to Owens. Owens will pass it near side, puck rebounds off the boards. Dress will work it from the blue line, cross ice to Mahler. Mahler back to Small. Small up top to Mahler as a coin will control near side as Bobcats break this one up and send it back out of the neutral zone. Tauros are going to have to reset. 53 seconds remain on the power play. Small will carry this across the blue line as he skates to the near side. He centers a pass to Owens. Owens is pressured out to the near side, so he'll ring it around the boards as Mahler will meet that one along the far side boards. Touch pass it back to Small. Small works the puck as it'll end up near side to Dress up at the blue line. Dress will give to a Coin. A Coin will fire one that's tipped wide to the far side of the net. Tauros still working the offensive zone. Mahler to Dress along the blue line. Dress feeds it near side to a Coin. A Coin goes back to Dress. Dress back up top to the blue line to Mahler. One-timer sent in by Small. That one tipped up by Angle as puck's thrown to a Coin. A Coin will fire one on net as Anderson will cover and hold that one with 12 seconds to go on the power play. A little bit of pushing and shoving following the whistle on that one.
That puck was still loose when Owens took a poke at it. or started to take his poke at it. Anderson did get over the top. It's a risky reaction by the Bobcats.
So the Tauros with 12 seconds to work on the 5-on-4, 127 remain in the first period. Yahala on the draw for the Tauros. Draw will come to Anderson's right side. Tauros win the draw. Batten will give it near side to the blue line to Gibbs. Gibbs works it across to James. James looking for O'Hannison near side. Puck will bounce off the boards and finally be gathered by O'Hannison. Bobcats come full strength. Gibbs gives it to James. James to Yahala. Yahala will just give it back to James. James along the far side will fire one that's high of the net. Ricochet off the boards. Tauros working from the near side as Gibbs is forced just to hack this one in to keep it in the offensive zone. Batten will turn up with a loose puck and fire one off the stick of Carlson up and out of play for another whistle. We're under a minute to go here in the first period of play. Tauros with an 11-9 shot advantage over Bismarck.
Tauros getting a lot of zone time, but that's been the story. We see that replay, a lot of blocked shots, nothing getting through clean. Certainly helps when Anderson is already locked in. 196 minutes just about since he's allowed a goal.
It's small on the offensive zone draw for the Tauros. Spencer will corral it and work it around the Bobcat net. Bobcats give it to Kim. Kim tries to send it back on the neutral zone. Tauros do a nice job to keep it in, but the Bobcats will eventually gather this one and send it into the offensive zone. Gaspar chases after a puck into the near side corner. It's Fleming working up against him in the near side boards. 30 seconds remain in the period. 2 Tauros are sent in. Delayed call comes as the Tauros touch up. Tauros are going to go to the Papa John's PK for the first time tonight.
Adam Mahler for a cross check, and you got the first 2 power plays. You had to know one was coming, but as we get another look, you could see the frustration from Mahler after the call.
So the Tauros shorthanded so far. You look at the Tauros penalty kill unit, 90.32%, good for second in the division. So the puck is immediately worked to the near side. Bismarck was working. Angle sends it in, but Tauros do a nice job to get a hold of this one and clear it down in. Bismarck will have to cover a lot of distance here. 10 seconds remain. Kim will start up ice in the neutral zone. Give it far side to Angle. Angle will skate in the offensive zone. Gibbs works up against him as the horn sounds. First period in the books. Bismarck with a 1-0 advantage over the Tauros. Bismarck will have a minute 33 remaining of the power play to begin the second period. Tauros outshoot the Bobcats in the first period at 11-9, so a similar theme to last night. Tauros just without a goal.
Yeah, that's been the story of the week, right? Thursday night, Tauros play well, but trail 1-0 after 1. In fact, you can argue it was a better first period for the Tauros than on Thursday night, but Cats strike on the rush with a shot high to the far side to take a 1-0 lead. Lucas Swedden came over to the penalty box. Not sure why.
Student Insurance Intermission interview. I am here with Ian Spencer. You were named an assistant captain this past week. What does that mean to you? This is your second year in Minot.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously an honor, but just trying to do whatever we can to win as many games as possible.
And Tomas Anderson has been lights out for the last 4 periods. What's it going to take to get past this goalie?
We just got to get to the front of the net. I don't think he's that good, so.
You heard him. Thank you.
Spence. Wow. Well, last time we had a comment like that on a Farmers Union intermission interview, Game 3 in Austin, when Joel Lettinen, despite the Toros being down after one, said it doesn't matter, we're going to win this game. Toros came through and did it. See if the Toros can back up Spencer's talk on the bench, Edward.
Yeah, I mean, the rivalry is not only because these two teams are separated by, 110 miles. These two teams are not too friendly of each other, so more to that, but we'll have second period action coming on,
Billet appreciation first.
All right, Toros fans, it's time for tonight's Billet appreciation. Toros fans, meet Ray Guillotine. Billet Ray is a safety officer for Johnson Controls Federal Systems. He was born and raised in the Magic City and has been a Billet for 5 years. He has been a Billet to many former players, including Carter Clafton and Hayden DeMars, amongst many, many others. His favorite thing about being a Billet is getting to meet new players and their families. He said, getting to see them develop throughout the season and then going on to their years playing college hockey. Getting to be a part of these boys' lives and treating them as if they were my own sons is very rewarding. You get to build a lifetime bond with the players and their families. Fans, let's hear it one more time for Billet Ray.
All right, guys, you know we had trunk or treat tonight. And here I am with Lacey from the Booster Club, and he's going to do all the talking here.
Hey, what about tonight and the wonderful trunk or treat we had out before in hand? The Minot Booster Club, the Minot Minotauro Booster Club has been partnering with the Minot Minotauros for 10 years now. And we have some wonderful sponsors, including Michael Lucy from Michael Lucy Agency, and so many more. I want to thank the volunteers that came out. I want to thank all the trunks that came out tonight. And I want to thank our sponsors for putting this on. So tonight we had 1,653 people come out to trunk or treat. Those guys took a vote, and the best trunk out there went to the Magic City Discovery Center with their Inside Out theme. Michael, would you like to give the trophy out? Thank you so much. Ladies, we appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow might be hard to see, but tomorrow is right in front of us. And we're always looking towards it. Investing another $4 billion in renewable energy and low-carbon solutions through 2025. And lowering emissions by modernizing our infrastructure, bridging to a sustainable energy future.
As far as what Plains Egg has to offer, great pay along with some of the best benefits that I've seen in the job market.
The company understands the importance of family and family values. You need to have that time with your children. Plains Ag is 100% family oriented.
I love working here, very helpful.
There's no problem it feels like we can't solve when we're working together.
Go to plainsegg.com, fill out the application, and we'll be in touch with you shortly.
The Lamplighter is Minot's premier liquor store. Whether you're looking for wine, cold beer, or a fine bourbon, stop in and browse our selection, or make a quick stop at our convenient drive-thru. The Lamplighter Lounge and Liquor Store.
No, 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 no! Oh! Wait! We have an emergency fund!
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
And welcome back inside the Mesa Arena here in Minot. Tauros trail the Bobcats 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. The goal for Bismarck comes courtesy of Zane Rowan, his third on the year. Assists on that one coming via Tristan Trevino and Ian Engel for their 6th and 8th helpers, respectively, as Bismarck leads once again after the first period 1-0, much like last night. Tauros do outshoot the Bobcats 11-9. Nothing going in special teams. Bismarck goes 0 for 1 on the power play. Tauros go 0 for 2, but Bismarck still with 1:33 of 5-on-4 hockey coming their way at the beginning of the second period. So with that, we'll get to some out-of-town scores on this Saturday night. Maryland falls to New Hampshire 6-4. That one final in New Hampshire. Philadelphia and Elmira tied up at 3 apiece. Final minute of the third period there. Perhaps some extra hockey to be played. Also tied up, Johnstown and New Jersey. The Tomahawks and Titans knotted at 5. Final half of the third period. Northeast leads Maine 5-4. That one with 3 minutes to go in the third period of play. The Mallards and Bulls, North Iowa, with a 2-0 lead over the Mallards, just getting underway in the third period in Mason City. Aberdeen and St. Cloud. St. Cloud with a 1-0 lead over the Wings. St. Cloud won the contest last night, so Aberdeen's now 8-2. St. Cloud 7-2, 1-2, which is good for third in the division. So the 2 and the 3 playing down in St. Cloud this weekend. Danbury and Rochester. Rochester with a 5-1 lead over Danbury. 15 minutes to go in the third period in play of that one. New Mexico and Oklahoma. New Mexico leads the Warriors 2-1. Austin with a 5-0 lead over Watertown at the second intermission. Springfield up on Janesville 2-1. 5 minutes remain in the second period of that one. Amarillo and Colorado. Amarillo up 2-0 as the second period just gets underway down in Texas. Chippewa and Minnesota. Chippewa with a 1-0 lead over the Wilderness. El Paso and Odessa tied at ones. 6 minutes to go in the second period of that one. Lone Star up 2-0 over Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi and Lone Star, two really hot teams to begin the season. Lone Star 9-2-0-1, Corpus Christi 10-2-0-1 in the South. That one at the first intermission. Wisconsin and Anchorage still to come. Up in Anchorage, and Fairbanks and Kenai just getting underway in warm-ups. And while we're here, we'll get some NHL scores as well. Why not? On this Saturday night, Ducks and Rangers. Rangers up 2-0 over the Ducks. Lightning over the Capitals 3-2 in the third period. The Leafs and Bruins. Bruins with a 3-2 lead. Canadians and Blues. As I just lost that score, Canadians up 4-2. Second half of the third period in that one. Jets and Flames tied up at 3. Panthers and Islanders also tied up at 3. That one at the second intermission. Blackhawks trail the Stars 1-0 in the second period. Blue Jackets up over the Predators 2-1. Still to come, the Penguins and Canucks. Sharks and Golden Knights, that one down in Vegas. And the Hurricanes travel to Seattle. So that'll round out your NHL scoreboard. But with that, we'll send it back out to break on the other side. Second period action here from the Mesa Arena on the Minotauros Network.
Nothing has embodied the American spirit like the family farmer. Year after year, they continue to work the land and plant their crops. Through droughts, floods, and uncertain markets, they keep that spirit alive with another crop harvested for the next generation. And for that, we tip our hats to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts, and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Keeps you rolling down the road.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A state-of-the-art hospital and medical office building built with you in mind. The new healthcare campus and medical district, now open in Minot. Trinity Health, making more possible.
I think we have some pickles downstairs. Honey, got some good news and some bad news.
The trick to throwing well is knowing where you want the ball to go. Like how the local bankers at First Western Bank and Trust take the time to learn about you and recommend the banking services like online banking or personal loans that keep your goals on target.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
I've been canning my whole life. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Today I finished the raspberry jam.
That's my favorite kind.
Well, here, take it with you.
Thanks, Grandma.
Now for my prize collection. Each jar shows the year it was canned. That way I won't forget when I put it in here.
Grandma, what's that?
Oh. Your grandfather and I worked so hard for this. It's our life savings.
In a jar?
Canning is really the best way to preserve anything.
It's true. The way we've always done it isn't always the best way. See how we're changing for the better at Aspire.
Grandma, you can bank from your phone now.
Oh, wow.
Aspire Credit Union. Aspire to more.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
At Northwest Tire, we're part of your community, and we want you to be part of our family. We're about more than tires. We're about superior customer service to keep your vehicles and equipment safely rolling down the road. If you'd like to join a company that truly cares for our customers and employees, come work with us and become part of our growing family. Apply at nwtire.com.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
And welcome back inside the Mesa Arena. Bismarck up 1-0 over the Tauros through 20 minutes of play here on the Pepsi rink. Very reminiscent of last night. Bismarck with a 1-0 lead over the Tauros after one. Yesterday, Tauros still yet to solve. Bismarck netminder Tomas Anderson. Yet to surrender a goal to this Toro team. Edward Eamon and Ken Oda. Second period action on the way here on the Minotauro Network.
Tauros, clearly from the Farmers Union intermission interview, still a confident group. Despite going through 4 periods of play without scoring against the Bobcats yet this year.
As both teams take the ice ahead of the second period. Really good crowd here inside the Mesa Arena. Perhaps the best thus far. And we talk about a lot early in the season. Tauros haven't played all that much inside this building. Obviously the one series against St. Cloud and this just being their second, despite being 10 games through the season so far. So Tauros looking to get this crowd into it.
6 tickets shy of a sellout. $22.94. Just waiting for an excuse to get loud. But credit to the Bobcats. They've done a good job of really preventing the Tauros from grabbing any kind of momentum.
And we saw in that St. Cloud series, the Tauros took a couple periods to get on the board, and once they did, the momentum really shifted, and you can tell the home ice advantage definitely plays a factor on this rink. So we're set for the second period. Puck is down and away we go. Tauros control off the draw. Hagstrom will quickly fire into the offensive zone.
Tauros still shorthanded.
The Bobcats are after that one. 1:25 to go on that power play. Tauros penalty kill. Obviously so far so good. Bobcats 0 for 1. Bobcats carrying this one. Angle will meet a pass at the blue line. Pass it far ice to Kren. Kren will Be patient with it along the far side boards. He'll center ice pass to Angle. Angle will fire one that gets tipped off of Small. Rebound back out to the blue line. Angle controls. He will give it back as this puck is fired up and out of play. Kren was looking for a lane there. 1 minute to go exactly on the extra man advantage for the Bobcats.
Small and Spence wanted to stay out. The 4 new killers over the wall.
We mentioned before this Tauros penalty kill unit, very solid so far. Just over 90% on the year. As the draw comes out to Svedin's left side, Tauros will send it to the far side corner. It's dug free and controlled by Bismarck. His pass will be sent up to the blue line. Bannister will gather it near side as he fires one off the pad of Svedin. Svedin laid out as the puck pinballs around in front of the net. Net comes off as the Tauros controlled it along the near side. That will draw a whistle.
Tauros net is off. Bobcats arguing that the Tauros pushed it off. Well, I mean, it was a Bobcat player falling into it that knocked it off. You could argue that Gibbs pushed him into it, but I don't think he was trying to knock the net off with the player. I think he was just trying to take the Bobcat out of the play.
So another offensive zone draw won by the Bobcats. Bannister will send this down to Ruskowski. Ruskowski back to the blue line to Bannister as a shot's fired in off of Svedin. Rebound out to the near side. Bannister back from the blue line. He gets the puck poked at by Batten as the puck's finally freed up and cleared the distance by Owens. 25 seconds remain on the power play for the Bobcats. They'll reset back behind their own net. It's carried up ice by Rafalski. Rafalski will gain line in the offensive zone. Will bring this around the net of Svedin. Bannister will find it along the far side boards. He'll give it back to, this time, Ruskowski behind the Toro net. Rafalski will fire one on one-timer that goes off
the
iron.
post.
And they
and
are
the rebound goes.
The initial goal went off the post. Rebound hammered home as the Bobcats add to their lead. As it swells to 2 here, just a minute and a half into this second period of play. I believe it's...
That's a tough break. I think the way the Bobcats celebrated, the Toros all stopped.
And there was definitely, a little, I don't want to say confusion, but the initial shot went off the post, and I think some of the Bobcat players were signaling that it was a good goal. So nonetheless, the Bobcats with a 2-0 advantage over the Toros. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as Svedin will throw it to the far side from behind his net. Puck work back out in the Bobcat zone. Bobcats will carry this into the neutral zone, given to Vig. Vig will skate in the offensive zone as the whistle's blown for
an offside.
Offsides. With 18:10 to go here, so that goal is going to be credited to Josh Lato, his 3rd on the year. Rafalski and Bannister with the assists on that one. As the draw will come back out in the neutral zone. Funk will lose the draw for the Toros. Bobcats control in neutral zone. Angle will send it along the boards as it's chased after, and eventually it worked to the far side. Toros gather this one. Edwards will control in the neutral zone. He'll give it near side to Funk. Funk not able to settle that one down, so the Bobcats carry it back out of neutral. It's Dahl giving it to Ken. Ken will lose his handle as Hagstrom will take it away and fire it off the far side boards. Funk chasing after this puck.
A generous wave off of that icing.
As the Bobcats will work it back out of neutral zone. Trevino across the blue line. Far side was looking for Dahl. That pass was tipped up. Hagstrom will pin Dahl up against the boards. Lato will come free with it, give it to Bannister. Bannister from the blue line will get a pass tipped up as still the puck is being controlled by the Bobcats. And one-timer fired wide of the net. That was Roloff's in on that one. Puck will squirt back out of neutral zone. Bobcats control. They'll have to reset. 17:08 to go. Second period, Bismarck with a 14-11 shot on net advantage over the Toros. Bannister will carry this along the back side of the net. Pucks pass down to the near side boards. Rowan working up against Morelli. Pucks freed up and chopped at by both teams. Tabulis will turn free with it and send it back out of neutral zone and the distance for an icing with 16:45 to go here. Tauros had the shot on night advantage 11-9 at the break. Bismarck, though, with 5 quick shots on net to turn the tide, of course, one being a goal. So the Tauros will have a defensive zone draw to Svedin's left side. Owens on the draw for the Tauros. Bismarck will win this one. It's Carlson sending it far side. As a quick shot is covered and held by Svedin. Perhaps the puck may have still been rolling around a little bit, but nonetheless.
And Edward, looking ahead for the Bobcats, they head to Austin next weekend. After that, the Mallards twice, 4 with North Iowa, and then us again. There's a chance they can add a 10 spot. The Austin Bruins probably the only games that you would consider a big challenge.
Of course, Austin played Bismarck fairly competitive, at least through the first half of those 2 games in their last series. As Bismarck will throw it back out of the neutral zone. Tauros pursuing after this one. So far, so good in a Garrett Roth era, though, in Bismarck. As the Tauros hack at a puck in the defensive zone of the Bobcats. Bobcats work it free. Sipnewski will chase after one into the Tauros zone. Mahler will send it to the far side. Tauros control defensive zone takeaway. Sipnewski skating in. He'll try to find a man free in the center of the ice. Gaspar had an angle as another shot is quickly fired off of Svedin. That was another good opportunity here for Bismarck as they continue to keep the pressure on. It's 7 unanswered shots on net to start the second frame for the Bobcats. Spencer in the offensive zone will fire one off the iron. Tauros hammer it home. It's John Small.
Tauros finally break through.
It's John Small's 7th on the year. It cuts into this Bobcat lead, and that breaks up a string of momentum for this Bismarck team. First goal on the weekend for the Tauros. Initial shot went off the left iron. John Small was there to clean it up.
And it ends the shutout streak for Anderson. 201 minutes and 8 seconds.
And we said in the pregame show, if the Tauros got one, it could really open up the floodgates, and we'll see if that comes to fruition. 15:26 to go in the second period. We're back underway.
Brought to you by Northern Blades Equipment. Goal scored by number 18, John Small, his 7th of the season. Assisting on the goal, number 23, Ian Spencer. Time of the goal, 4 minutes, 29 seconds.
And that's good for John Small, his 13th point on the year. It's ties Jesse Uhala for most points on this Tauros team. Tauros work out of their own zone, given far side to Batten. Batten will leave it for Uhala in the neutral zone. Spencer will cross the blue line as he skates into a swath of Bobcat defenders. Bobcats work this back on the neutral zone. Dahl had it for a moment. This play broken up by the Tauros. O'Hannison will skate across the blue line near side, pass the puck to the center of the ice. No Toro able to get a stick on it. As I believe that's Fleming.
Tauros will get a power play.
In the far side corner got clipped. So the Tauros are going to go to the First Western Bank and Trust power play at what seems like the perfect time, as they just potted the first one of the weekend, and it's going to be Brendan Roloffs being sent to the box. So the Toro power play unit will come onto the ice. 24 6.32% on the season, as they've cashed in 9 times on the power play. Defensive zone draw controlled and sent out into the neutral zone by the Bobcats. Spencer working along the far side boards as Johannesson will free a puck up that was pinned as Spencer will cross the blue line far side. Batten will give it to Johannesson. Johannesson near side to James. James will work it down the ice to Yahala. Yahala will give it to Batten behind the Bobcat net. Back to Yahala near side to James. James back to Jack Johannesson. Johannesson to James. James will try to thread a shot towards the direction of Ian Spencer. Puck gets pinned up in the near side corner. 1:20 to go on the power play. Both teams digging up against the boards. Puck's freed up as James hustles and tries to keep that in the offensive zone. It will squirt it out into neutral, so the Tauros will have to reset. Yahala along the near side will hack this one down into the offensive zone. Batten will chase after a free puck, but it's Trevino that tried to fight a neutral zone. Spencer breaks that up. Johannesson fires one that's covered and held. It's gonna still be worked free. The Toro crowd reacting as the whistle was blown.
I think they're gonna review it.
Toro's arguing that this one found the back of the net, and they are gonna go to review as the Toros crowd reacts. And I did not get a clean look at that one as there was a
I'm trying to look at the iPad over the shoulder of J.R. Sweet.
So we'll await a call here, the first review on the weekend. Toros with some nice pressure on the power play.
They're still looking at the iPad as we get another look live.
As they're gonna
wash it out. Still no goal.
They're gonna hold the no goal call. We'll get another replay of it here.
They, of course, have the overhead from directly above the goal. We do not.
And it was, one way or another, it was close. So the Toros will have an offensive zone draw, but a big call there in a series that has been so close. Toros catch a tough break. Draw comes out to Anderson's right side.
Hard to tell from the angle we have. We don't have the iPad angle. But the good news, pucks are getting behind Anderson now, whether that actually made it all the way over the line or not.
50 seconds remain on the power play. Toros tie up off the draw as the pucks work back towards the front of the net. Owens was in there for the Toros. It's freed up and sent to the far side to Dress. Dress will work it to Mahler along the blue line. Mahler will chop it in just to keep it in the offensive zone. Puck will ring around the back of the net as it will find its way back up top to Dress. Dress will give it to Small. Small will skate it along the near side. 30 seconds now remain on the power play. Pass just goes wide of Dress, so the Toros are going to have to peel back as it squirted into the neutral zone. Dress carries it to the center of the ice as he eventually will cross the blue line and get the puck tack free and cleared by the Bobcats. 10 seconds on the power play, 12:33 to go in this second period of play. Toros will work it up along the far side boards. It's Small sending it into the neutral zone. Johannesson was standing there for the Toros. Bobcats fired off the near side. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey here. Bobcats penalty kill unit, 2 for 2 so far. As Johannesson will send it into the offensive zone. Small is there to gather this one. He'll work it along the far side boards to Batten. Batten will settle down a puck that bounced high up into the air. Tui will keep it at the blue line. Hagstrom to Batten. Batten will fire one towards the front of the net. That one bounced high up into the air and controlled by the Toros. Tui from the near side blue line.
It was a tip from Johannesson.
As the puck is sent in on Anderson through some traffic, Bobcats will finally control in their own zone. Kopetsky will give it to Sandvin. Sandvin will just clear this one in as he fires it into the glove of Lucas Fredin for a whistle. Tauros with a lot of pressure here in this second period following the goal. Another look at the opportunity here. And Anderson seeing a little more rubber than he's used to, at least compared to Thursday night.
I would say after a slow start to this period, Cats had the first 7 shots. It's now 9-6 in the period.
So the draw is going to come out to Svedin's right side. It's Yahala out there for the Tauros as it's dug free and sent to the near side corner. Gibbs is in there as Yahala will free this one up for the Tauros as Kren will quickly take this one away as he tries to skate to Svedin's right side. He gets denied and forced back around as Bismarck will throw one that's eventually corralled by the Tauros and shoveled back up in the neutral zone. Batten will chase after this one, but
Hanneson's going to go for a cross check.
The Tauros will hit the box for the penalty. Papa John's PK is... Hannison contests the call, but nonetheless, the Bobcats will have an opportunity on the 5-on-4 here now as we'll get another look at the call.
That puck was floated high. I don't think Johannesson was really going for the cross check or a high stick. It just kind of, he was trying to turn and find that puck.
As draw gets tied up and worked to the near side corner, Bismarck will come up with it. They'll work it to Bannister. Bannister will throw one that's right into the chest of Svedina for a whistle. Just 13 seconds into the power play. Tauros fairly disciplined though in terms of getting on the penalty box. Entering the series, they had exactly 100 less penalty minutes than this Bismarck team. As both teams will work at a puck that's pinned up in the near side corner in the Bismarck offensive zone. Eventually it's freed up and worked to the far side. I believe that's Roloffs that will skate in as he tries to give it to Kopetsky. Tauros with some nice defense here as the puck is
good stick by Spence.
Worked back out of the neutral zone and eventually behind the Bismarck net. Tauros with an opportunity for a change. 1:11 to go on the power play at 10:21 left in the second period. Kene will work this up to Rowan. Rowan will cross into the offensive zone, give it back to Kene. Kene in the near side corner. Hit laid there by Gibbs as Kene will send it to the far side. Puck sent to Angle at the blue line as he'll give it back to Kim. Kim will fire one that's tipped as it's hacked at a few times by Bismarck. Kim will turn up with it in the near side corner and work it near side point to Angle. Angle back to Kim. Kim works it into Kren. Kren will hack one at as the Tauros get a stick on it and clear it back down the ice. 35 seconds remain on the extra man advantage for the Bobcats. Kim skates along the far side in the neutral zone. Small with a good stick there to break that one up and work it back out of the neutral zone. Bobcats will have to get back on side as Rowan will carry it across the blue line, throws one high up into the air. Kren was skating down the far side. As this one is worked back down and cleared for the Tauros. So the Tauros are going to come back 5-on-5 as the penalty kill unit does their work. Bismarck with brief possession in the offensive zone. Tauros work it back out as Morelli will look towards the direction of Mahler. Mahler was tied up, so he couldn't control that one. Tauros back out of the neutral zone will dump and chase this one. As the Bobcats control near side corner, they'll send it to neutral zone. O'Hannison will get a stick on it and send it right back. Bobcats chase after this one. Bannister will meet it along the far side board, send it to the neutral zone to Kopetsky. Kopetsky across the blue line, met with some good defense by Tui. As Kopetsky will ring around the back of the Tauros net. Sandvin will send one off of Svedin. Rebound controlled by the Tauros. Edwards will give it to Morelli as Morelli will just hack this one in from the neutral zone. Edwards in the near side corner, Tauros in the offensive zone. Edwards will skate in behind the Bismarck net. He'll give it to Funk. Funk will fire one that results in a broken stick as a Bobcat is without a stick to him. Along the blue line to Hagstrom. Hagstrom will fire one that's tipped wide due to some traffic. Funk in the far side corner will center a pass as Bannister got in the way of that one. Dress in there for the Tauros will throw it to the far side boards, and eventually this is tipped free back out of the neutral zone. Edwards near side for the Tauros is he'll shovel this one that's gloved and dropped by Vig. Lato will skate along the near side with the puck. Vig was working in the center of the ice. Lato couldn't find him as the puck is pinned back up against the boards. This time in the near side corner. 7:18 to go in the second period of play. Puck freed up by Vig. He'll skate to the far side corner, and this puck is just thrown in by Trevino. Goes wide of the net. Rebound to the near side as both teams go back and forth. Your Tauros defense doing a nice job to keep this puck towards the outside of the net. Puck fired wide by Vig. Angle controls at the near side point. He'll throw it down the blue line back to Trevino. Trevino will fire one that's thrown on net to Svedin.
Vig and Hagstrom have been going back and forth the whole shift.
As we'll hit the much needed second period media timeout. 6:53. Both teams with chances of their own. Tauros obviously cut into that Bismarck 2-goal lead, courtesy of John Small. As we mentioned, his 7th goal on the year. Spencer's 9th, as we'll get a look at the point leaders. Yahala and Small. Small is now tied with 13 with Yahala. O'Hannison with 12. Ian Spencer with 11 and Billy Batten with 10. And it continues to be a theme for this Toro team, kind of everybody getting involved in on the action, whether that be through goal scoring or just assists, as those are your Central Division team leaders. Beaumont's the team leader for Bismarck, but not see the ice. I believe that's due to an injury. Other point leaders, though, trailing closely here for Bismarck is Evan Hunter with 9 and Ian Engel also with 9. And then Matthew Rafalski with 8 on the year. And Tauros have done a nice job keeping those guys at bay. Nonetheless, though, Bismarck with a 2-1 lead. As both teams will break out of the media timeout. Draw is going to come in the Tauros defensive zone. This time's to Svedin's left side. It's going to be Small, Spencer out there for the Tauros. As puck is quickly controlled off the draw by the Tauros. Spencer carries it along the far side. He'll dump it into the offensive zone. Is a big collision there.
They're going to call Spence for that.
As Anderson covered the puck, and a tough break there for Ian Spencer as he was pursuing after a puck that was just dumped in.
I didn't think there was anything particularly egregious from Spence. But he sent the Bobcat over his own goaltender. I don't know if we have another look. Spence and Engel are jawing. But they're taking a Bobcat as well, so it'll be 4-on-4. Okay, yeah, that's pretty late by Spence on the replay.
Bobcat's going to get called for the retaliation on that.
Trevino gets called as well for going after Spencer.
It's going to be 4-on-4 hockey. 6:45 remain in the second period. Bismarck still with a shot on net advantage. 23-18 over the Tauros, but can't deny the Tauros have really picked up the pace in this second period with likely, I would say, at least through the first 15 minutes or so of this period, perhaps one of their best periods so far on the weekend.
I don't mind the penalty by Spencer either. You hate to not have him for 4-on-4, given his speed and skill, but brings a little bit of rat to his game. Bobcats have been flying high all season. You maybe get in their heads, get them off their game a little bit.
Tauros will control the puck deep in their own zone. They'll reset. It's Fleming behind the Toro net. Fleming was a recent addition to this Tauros roster by way of Oklahoma. And of course, as we mentioned in Tauros All Access this week, he also played a season with the Bobcats. As this puck is sent into the offensive zone by the Tauros, quickly taken away though by the Bobcats, as Ruskowski will give it to Bannister, as Bannister just fires one back in behind the Toro net. 1:15 remains on 4-on-4 hockey. Both teams will dig along the boards behind the net of Svedin. Puck finally freed up, controlled by Batten. Batten will give it to Mahler. Mahler will skate into the offensive zone, will fire one into the chest of Anderson, as he'll cover and hold this one for a whistle. Exactly 1 minute remains on 4-on-4. Mahler just sends that one on net. Draw will come out to Anderson's left side. It's Small, Owens, Gibbs, and James out there for the Tauros. Small already with a goal on the night.
Continues his streak of, if the Tauros score, he is on the stat sheet.
Bismarck out of their own zone. Rowan can't quite get to a pass as it goes off the skate. Bismarck, though, will work it back out of neutral zone. Rowan will skate into his zone and back out of neutral. He'll cross the blue line, leave it for Engel along the near side. Engel will throw it far side to Carlson. Carlson goes back to Engel. Engel will fire one. Rebound out to the near side. Bismarck still working. Engel from the blue line tries to go towards the direction of Rowan. Rowan's forced to bring it back out of the neutral zone as the Bobcats reset. 25 seconds remain on 4-on-4. Bobcats still controlling its gas bar. Give it into the Bobcat zone to Engel. Engel is just going to wait this out as Bismarck gets some fresh legs out into the ice. Cross ice pass to Sipnewski. Sipnewski will chase after a puck that just went a little wide as James and Gibbs crash into the far side corner. Puck still controlled by the Bobcats. Lato got held up by James as both teams come back to 5-on-5. Kenne got taken down along the near side. Reed fields a passes. He fires one that's tipped through traffic. Rebound back out to the blue line. Reed controls. He'll give it to Lato along the near side corner. Gibbs will hold him up along the boards. Pass back out to Sadvin. Sadvin can't get a hold of this one as he'll score back out of neutral zone. Owens will dive after one. Bobcats controlling their own zone. 4:18 to go in this second period. Kenne will skate in, leave it for Lato. Lato's shot goes wide of the net. It'll end up in the far side corner as the Tauros control and reset behind their own net. Yahala skates along the near side as Tauros will just chip one in, but Bismarck sends it back out into the neutral zone. Batten picks this one up. He crosses the blue line, works it to the far side is Ohannesson. Ohannesson will stop in the far side corner. He'll try to work it to the far side point to Hagstrom. Hagstrom can't get a stick onto that one, so it'll roll all the way back into the Tauros defensive zone. It's Dress carrying this one up ice. He'll give it to Ohannesson. Ohannesson will fire one that goes wide right of the net. Good opportunity there for Ohannesson. Just not quite enough space to get that one on net. Ohannesson will lose his stick. He'll skate back to the Toro bench. Toros throw this one back into the offensive zone behind the net of Anderson. Bismarck works it to the near side as it's given to Rowan. Rowan, neutral zone. His pass broken up by Spencer. Spencer will gather and control this one. Start back up ice. Backhanded pass into the offensive zone. Bismarck will take over and force the Tauros to go back out of the neutral zone. Mahler will chase after a puck into the near side corner of the offensive zone. Wraparound try as the Tauros with some pressure here. Fleming will handle a puck. He doesn't pull the trigger in. Bismarck does a nice job of taking that one over as the puck is sent high and up out of play into the press box.
I remain unscathed.
And
I
Ken,
tried to catch that one. I just couldn't get up high enough.
I can't believe the luck that you have. I mean, after so many years in the business, how have you not gotten hit with a puck?
I actually tried to get in the way of that one to protect Sean behind us. Fortunately, it missed over his head as well. Put a good-sized chunk in the drywall, though.
So the draw comes back out into center ice into 2:38 to go in the second period. Shots on net in favor of the Bobcats, 25-20. Kopetsky on the draw for Bismarck. Tauros will win it. Morelli will chip it into the offensive zone. Engel pursues after this one as Trevino will give it as Bismarck will dump it into the offensive zone. Svedin out of his net will throw it to the far side. Bismarck controls as this one is skated wide by Rowan. Rowan gives it back to Trevino. Trevino to Engel. Engel working along the near side will fire one that's held up through traffic. Roloff still skating in as the Tauros take
Delayed
this one
call
away.
Against
Delayed call coming as the Bobcats will finally touch up and
Owens goes and grabs Roloffs. And now we've got some more.
And I believe that's
going.
I believe that's James that's down on the ice and slow to get up for the Tauros as the referees are still trying to sort things out. So we'll see what happens here. Roloffs is going to the box.
Engel and Tulis are still talking.
And Owens is going to go in for the Tauros for what followed after.
I didn't actually see what happened to James, did you? Here's another look. Just the swing by Kopetsky caught him in the side.
So both teams will have one sent to the box.
Referee Johnson writing this all on his hand. I've never seen that before. Usually the officials have a little book, so he either forgot his or perhaps doesn't want to waste the paper.
An environmentally friendly choice, I will say, Ken.
Still waiting on a breakdown of all the actual calls, but I've never seen the referee writing on his hand before.
Perhaps this is kind of more of what we expected from these two teams, especially coming off, I should say, a Central Cup last year. Last night, we mentioned it pregame, it was just not many penalties were called at all. Tauros were sent to the box twice, but only had they only had the extra man advantage once, and that was abbreviated. So we'll get some explanation here.
A 4-minute high stick on Kopetsky. Roughs on. So the Tauros will get a 4-minute power play out of this.
Kim Nelson does bring up a good point here, Ken. Helmet could be useful up here in the box at times.
Well, My time in my press box, a lot like my time in net when I was playing goalie. Well, now over 20 years ago, 25 years ago. A lot of pucks near me, none that actually hit me. That one went right past my outstretched hand, which had to look a lot like my goaltending career.
Still waiting.
I can admit this now. It's been 22 years since I graduated high school with the ref writing on his hand, trying to figure things out. Looked a lot like me right before the occasional quiz back in my Loyola Academy days. Your dad, the head of the math department there, I don't think he can take away the diploma after all this time. But
No, I don't believe so. I think you're probably
safe at this point.
Probably safe at this point. All things considered, I think everything turned out okay, Ken. Tauros win the offensive zone draws. Mahler will give it to Spencer. Spencer will fire one towards the center of the net. That's tipped wide by Yahala. Tauros still working along the far side boards. It's Ohannesson. Ohannesson will keep the puck despite some good pressure there by Raskowski. He'll give it to Mahler. Mahler near side to Yahala. Yahala back up top to Mahler. One-timer here tipped up and off the glass by, I believe that was Trevino. Puck will eventually find its way out of play for a whistle.
Mahler trying to keep that, just had to go off his hands and into the bench.
Tauros will get about 2 segmented 2-minute power plays here, half of which will come in the second period, and then the Tauros will start the third period with, I believe, a minute 58 of 5-on-4 hockey. Druck back out of neutral zone. Yahala on the draw for the Tauros. Bismarck will control as this is brought deep in their own zone and eventually cleared by Bannister. Tauros will reset back up ice. Mahler give it far side to Yahala. Yahala will go back towards the center of the ice to Mahler. Mahler will just send this one in. It will go off the blocker into the far side from Anderson. Another clear here by Bismarck. 1 minute remains in the second period of play. Tauros now only trail Bismarck 23-25 on shots on net. As Yahala will throw this off the far side boards as Tauros enter the offensive zone. Will ring around though and end up back into Tauros defensive zone. Tauros will carry back up ice. Dahl with a takeaway here off the near side. He'll elect just to clear this one in. Had an opportunity to enter the offensive zone. Didn't have numbers though, so good decision there. 25 seconds to go. Small will work along the near side in the neutral zone. He'll give it to Dress. Dress will throw it around the Bobcat net. Puck is pinned up in the near side. Final 10 seconds of the period. As Bismarck will try to work this out. Tauros poke it back in, but the horn will sound, and that's the second period. Both teams add a goal. As Bismarck had a 2-goal advantage after a goal by Rowan. John Small answers the call, though, to cut it back down to a 1-goal lead for Bismarck. Excuse me, that was Lato who found the back of the net in the second period. Rowan credited with the first goal on the night for Bismarck. So both teams will hit the locker rooms, but definitely some optimism here for the Tauros as they hit the locker rooms for the second time tonight.
We'll hear, I imagine, from John Small down with Lauren Hill on the bench.
All right, Minotaurs fans, I'm here with John Small for the Farmers Union intermission interview. You scored the first goal of the game tonight. Can you walk us through that play?
Just a nice shot by Spence. It's laying on the back door and it's in the net.
All right, you were named an assistant captain this past week. What does that mean to you as this is your second year in Minot?
It's really important to me. Being my second year, I know what works from last year, and just trying to lead these guys, stay a group, and the goal is the same thing as last year, win the Robertson Cup here and make the playoffs.
Arden, what is it going to take to get another goal and pull out this win?
We just got to keep forechecking hard, and we got to capitalize on this power play here, and then I think we'll be in a good spot.
Okay, thank you.
And that was John Small, like Lauren
All
mentioned,
right,
the returner.
Tauros fans, it is time for the Trusted Tire and Auto Chuck-a-Puck.
For the Tauros, he's very familiar with this Bismarck team, but get to some chuck-a-puck action here.
We just need Tank to get out of the way. There we go. So, a little bit calmer interview from John Small. But we talked about it. You pop one on the power play in the first 2 minutes of the period.
Yeah.
And the Tauros will be in good position. Tauros have really, I thought in the second half of that period especially, taken over. Shots were 7-0 Bismarck in the second period at one point. Finished the period 16-12. So Tauros outshot the Bobcats 12-9 the rest of the way.
You know, and you really like to think, Ken, if the Tauros can pull even with the Bobcats here, it's their game to win. Just given the environment inside this building tonight, you saw the response from the goal from John Small. So still some work to do, but you like your chances going into this third period.
You also think the Tauros seem to have gotten in the Bobcats' head a little bit. It started with Spence's penalty.
Yeah.
Tauros, that was a big kill as well to kill that off. But Spence takes that penalty, creates a little havoc, and now we've seen a little bit more post-whistle than we've seen through the first 100 minutes, or 90 minutes, I should say, of this rivalry here this season. So, but we'll head out to break. When we come back, more here on the Minotaurs Network.
Tomorrow might be hard to see, but tomorrow is right in front of us. And we're always looking towards it. Investing another $4 billion in renewable energy and low carbon solutions through 2025. And lowering emissions by modernizing our infrastructure, bridging to a sustainable energy future.
As far as what Plains Ag has to offer, great pay along with some of the best benefits that I've seen in the job market.
The company understands the importance of family and family values. You need to have that time with your children. Plains Ag is 100% family oriented.
I love working here, very helpful.
There's no problem it feels like we can't solve when we're working together.
Go to plainsag.com, fill out the application, and we'll be in touch with you shortly.
The Lamplighter is Minot's premier liquor store. Whether you're looking for wine, cold beer, or a fine bourbon, stop in and browse our selection, or make a quick stop at our convenient drive-thru. The Lamplighter Lounge and Liquor Store.
No. Oh! Wait! We have an emergency fund!
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Nothing has embodied the American spirit like the family farmer. Year after year, they continue to work the land and plant their crops. Through droughts, floods, and uncertain markets, they keep that spirit alive with another crop harvested for the next generation. And for that, we tip our hats to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
The Four Bears Casino Sportsbook has a new look. Enjoy Vegas-style betting in comfort. Play and qualify to win trips to Vikings or Raiders NFL games. Order a drink at the dedicated bar. Then kick back in a lounger and watch the full wall display. Feel the action all the way to the final moment and claim your winnings. Book it for private draft parties or game day too. Visit the remodeled Sportsbook at Four Bears Casino and Lodge, 4 miles west of Newtown.
In life, there's good, better, and the best. The same theme applies for our car and light truck tires at Northwest Tire. We offer you good tires, better tires, and the best tires. Which choice is right for you? That depends on your tire performance needs and your budget. The choice is yours. Come in and talk to one of our tire experts, and we'll help you decide which tire is best for you.
Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
At Northwest Tire, we have tires for everyone. Needs tires that are reliable and safe to get her family where they need to be. Needs a tire that's heavy duty for all of his off-roading adventures. Needs tires that can get him from point A to point B. No matter what you drive or your budget.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A state-of-the-art hospital and medical office building built with you in mind. The new healthcare campus and medical district, now open in Minot. Trinity Health, making more possible.
And welcome back inside the Mesa Arena. Have a ball game here. Tauros and Bobcats both get on the board in the second period. Zane Rowan got the scoring started for the Bobcats in the first period, his third on the year. Helpers on that one coming from Trevino and Engel. John Small responds for the Tauros following a goal by Josh Lato to give the Bobcats a 2-0 lead. John Small cuts into that with his 7th of the year. The assist on that one coming from Ian Spencer. Ian Spencer's 9th assist on the year. Bismarck out shooting the Tauros 25-23 overall, 16-12 in that period, although the Bobcats with 7 straight shots on net to start the second period, and then the Tauros came back with a little momentum themselves. Bismarck 1 for 2 on the power play. Tauros right now 0 for 4, but they do still have a little under 2 minutes to go, 1:57, I believe, on the extra man advantage to begin the third period. It was a call on Jacob Kopetsky for combined 4 minutes for high sticking. So the Tauros with a chance right out of the break to draw this one even at deuces, but we'll get a look at our out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday night. As we mentioned in the first intermission, New Hampshire with a 6-4 victory over Maryland. Philadelphia and Elmira go final in overtime. Philadelphia with the 4-3 win. New Jersey has a 7-6 lead over the Johnstown Tomahawks. 3:21 to go, and it says in overtime, so like to think that one is going final, just hasn't been updated. It's a final between Northeast and Maine. Northeast with a 6-4 victory over Maine. It's Maine's third loss on the season, 10-3-1 to begin the year. Minnesota trailing North Iowa. North Iowa up 4-0. That one just going final as well. St. Cloud over Aberdeen. That one The final seconds just ticking off as we speak. St. Cloud with a weekend sweep over the Wings, so St. Cloud with some momentum as the Tauros will head into their barn next weekend starting on Friday night. Danbury and Rochester. Rochester with a 5-2 win over Danbury. Oklahoma and New Mexico knotted up at 2 with 7:20 to go in the third period over there. Austin, a 5-0 lead over Watertown. Final 15 seconds of play. Ticking off over in South Dakota. Springfield over Janesville, 4-1 out in Wisconsin. Colorado and Amarillo. Colorado with a 4-2 win, or excuse me, a 4-2 lead over Amarillo as the third period just gets underway. Colorado got the game 1 victory over Amarillo last night. Chippewa and the Wilderness tied up at 1. Final 5 minutes of regulation over there. El Paso and Odessa. El Paso leads the Odessa 2-1. Lone Star with a 2-0 lead over Corpus Christi. Third period just getting underway. Anchorage in Wisconsin still to come. And Fairbanks and Kenai as well out in Alaska. Get a couple updates on some NHL scores. We won't go through them all, but the ones that are still going on, the Stars with a 3-2 advantage over the Blackhawks. 3:28 to go into that one. Blue Jackets and Predators tied up at 3. Final 5 minutes of the third period out in Nashville. The Canucks and Penguins just getting underway, still scoreless in that one. Golden Knights with an early 2-0 lead over the Sharks halfway through the first period of play there, as the Sharks are still in search of their first win on the year. And the Hurricanes up 1-0 over the Kraken halfway through the first period of play there. So that'll do it. We'll send it back out to break, and on the other side, third period action here from Mesa Arena.
I think we have some pickles downstairs. Honey, got some good news and some bad news.
The trick to throwing well is knowing where you want the ball to go. Like how the local bankers at First Western Bank and Trust take the time to learn about you and recommend the banking services like online banking or personal loans that keep your goals on target.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
I've been canning my whole life. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Today I finished the raspberry jam.
That's my favorite kind.
Well, here, take it with you.
Thanks, Grandma.
Now for my prize collection. Each jar shows the year it was canned. That way I won't forget when I put it in here.
Grandma, what's that?
Oh. Your grandfather and I worked so hard for this. It's our life savings.
In a jar?
Canning is really the best way to preserve anything.
It's true. The way we've always done it isn't always the best way. See how we're changing for the better at Aspire.
Grandma, you can bank from your phone now.
Oh, wow.
Aspire Credit Union. Aspire to more.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
At Northwest Tire, we're part of your community, and we want you to be part of our family. We're about more than tires. We're about superior customer service to keep your vehicles and equipment safely rolling down the road. If you'd like to join a company that truly cares for our customers and employees, come work with us and become part of our growing family. Apply at nwtire.com.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
The all-new Emergency Trauma Center. built with your reassurance in mind. The new healthcare campus and medical district, now open in Minot. Trinity Health, making more possible.
We often think of frontiers as pages in a history book, a time gone by. But even in this modern world, there are new frontiers to conquer. Whether you're tending the land to grow a better tomorrow or growing a business for new opportunities, the work you do powers the world. Exploring the frontier means stepping forward, shaping the future for yourself and for those around you. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first, one step at a time.
All right, we're back in for our Chuck-a-Puck shot here on Saturday night.
$293. No pressure. That's okay because your next one you're shooting for $147. Oh! Very close. This third shot is worth $73. And aim for those arrows, bud. That's okay. You ready? Do you have anything to say to the Minotaurs fans tonight?
Let's go, Tauros!
Woo! You heard it?
And a couple of good shots there on our Chuck-a-Puck shot. Been a pretty good weekend for the Chuck-a-Puck shot. We bring Ken back in here, and speaking of opportunities, Tauros with a couple, obviously the goal from John Small, but then one that goes to a review.
We got a good look that we're going to try and work into the broadcast at some point during the third period. That puck never did go in.
Yeah, it was a good call there on the review, and, you know, nevertheless, I think, you know,
it went off the past the goaltender, off the post, off the back of the goaltender's leg, and then trickled along the goal line before the defender swept it out.
It essentially went everywhere except fully across the line. But, you know, I think my main takeaway here is that the Tauros are finally at least getting the puck on net and behind Anderson. Obviously the goal, but also just the pressure that the Tauros have continued to put on this big Bismarck defensive unit. Talked about Bismarck. They got out to a really wide lead at the beginning of the period in terms of shots on net. Tauros do a nice job responding, setting us up for a really good third period between these two rivals. Tauros with some power play time to begin the third period, and like John Small said at the intermission, if the Tauros can pop one out of the locker room,
there should be 2:02 left on the man advantage. I don't think they'll score on the front half of the 4-minute double minor at this point, but get one to draw even and see if you can't hand the Cats their first loss of the season. But it starts with one, right?
Yeah, and just the way that this building's rocking tonight, you would love to see it.
2294.
So, Tauros are going to have Yahala, Spencer, James, Batten, and O'Hannison out there to start the period. As we are back underway, final period of regulation here. Tauros control off the neutral zone draw. O'Hannison will backhand this one into the offensive zone. Yahala will send it Up to the blue line to James. James down to O'Hannesson. O'Hannesson back to Yahala. Yahala will leave this for O'Hannesson. O'Hannesson will skate and fire one. That's soaked up and covered by Anderson. 1:44 to go on the power play. Roloffs is going to come out of the box, so Kopetsky will be the one that's left in there for Bismarck. Draw is going to come to Anderson's left side. It's going to be Yahala on the draw for the Toros. Yahala, the goal leader, with 8 on the year for the Toros. He wins the draw. Spencer will give it far side back to Yahala. Yahala will send it to James. James will send it off his skate to his blade as he gets tied up and sent to the ice. Batten will meet it, give it to Spencer. Spencer around the back of the Bobcat net. He'll work into the near side corner and try to leave it as he was pressured. O'Hannesson will pick this up behind the net, far side pass to James. James down the blue line to Spencer. Spencer back up top to Yahala. Yahala will give it back to James as James will hand it off to O'Hannesson. O'Hannesson from the far side will fire one. That one's blocked through traffic. I believe it was Ian Angle in on the breakup there. Toros still controlling. Batten will give it to Yahala. Yahala with to Spencer. Spencer will fire one.
Bar
hit
down.
The back of the net. Toros draw even. Ian Spencer. His 4th on the year. As the Toros cash in on the power play.
That is exactly what the Toros needed. And now, after all of that, we're back even.
Bismarck controls off the neutral zone draw. This is sent down the near side as we'll get the goal call.
Goal scored by number 23, Ian Spencer, his 4th of the year. Assisting on the goal, number 10, Jesse Uhala. Also assisting on the goal, number 7, Jack O'Hannesson. Time of the goal, 1 minute, 7 seconds of the 3rd period.
Toros whistled for an icing, I suppose. So here's where things get tricky for the Toros. They've got 2 past Anderson tonight.
As this one's picked up far side by Edwards. Edwards dangling through some traffic, puck tipped to the near side corner.
He got chopped on the hand. Cody Campbell wants a penalty shot.
Toros still controlling in the offensive zone. Go ahead,
Or at
Ben.
least a slash called. Edwards was in clean and got chopped, but no call coming.
Near side dress will send one in that's tipped off by Kim. Sipnewski carries this down the ice. Will throw one that's denied by Svedino. And sent to the near side by Fleming. Good stick there by Mahler to poke it back out of the neutral zone. Toros go for a change. Bismarck will have to reset.
Cody Campbell letting the official have it, as that goes for an icing.
Another look.
Here's where it gets tricky, though. Anderson, aside from the shutout streak, his other starts, 1 goal, 2 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals, 1 goal. He has not given up 3 yet this year. Toros need to get a 3rd by him if they want to get the win tonight.
Draw comes out to Anderson's left side. Bismarck controls the defensive zone. Draw, quick takeaway for O'Hannesson. O'Hannesson skating in. Will get chopped at and puck sent far wide by Sandvin. Good defense there in front of the Bismarck net as O'Hannesson with Good takeaway off the draw. Bismarck in the offensive zone, far side corner. Tauros tip it free. O'Hannison will send it into neutral zone. It's picked up by Gibbs. Gibbs skates along the far side as he gains the line into the offensive zone. Sandvin with a takeaway in the corner, so turned back up ice and shoveled into the neutral zone by Vig as the Tauros will bring it back in on the stick of Batten. Batten's pass gets hacked at and thrown back up into the Tauros defensive zone. James along the far side boards in his own zone. His Roloffs is in on the pressure. Both guys fall to the ice in the near side corner as the puck is heaved up and out of play for a whistle. 16:37 to go.
$16:37. How about Ian Spencer?
Yeah.
First period or first intermission Farmers Union interview says Anderson's not that good. No one's 200 minutes without a goal against good consistently, but sets up Smalls, 7th of the year, and then scores the game tire.
Yep. So the draw comes out to Sverdin's left side. It's controlled by Bismarck. It's Rowan along the near side. He'll skate into the corner. Pressure brought by James. Roloffs will stop and send it back across the ice as it's tipped up and out of play for another whistle.
It's almost like both teams know that our shipment of game pucks was delayed and we're on our last last bin. They've declared war on the fans tonight.
Draw comes back out to the same spot. Shots are even so far in this third period of play, 2-1 in favor of the Tauros. Last one was just accounted for. Shot goes wide of the net, rebound to the near side, and the Tauros defensive zone. It's Spencer throwing it into the neutral zone. Bismarck will control. Roloffs off the stick is tried to find Rowan. Rowan finally gathers the puck. Spencer with a takeaway in the neutral zone. Spencer will hustle down the ice across the blue line. Will fire one that's blocked by Carlson. Tauros still lurking in front of the net. Bismarck finally controls and clears it back on the neutral zone. Roloff's pursuing after a loose puck here as he'll stop and fire one that goes wide.
Off the front of the mezzanine, but
thought it was up and out of play, but we play on. Mahler will look to a coin, far side. A coin couldn't get a hold of that one. Puck eventually finds its way into the glove of Sverdin. 15:36 to go. Even at 2. Kim Nelson also, helmets, also maybe plexiglass up in the booth here. I will say, Ken, the sight lines from the press box here are pretty good. So
hard for a puck to sneak up on you up here. Unless you're like our director, Sean, and you've got your back to the play.
So the Tauros will get a offensive zone draw following the whistle. I think that was an icing, so it's the Morelli-Owens-Tabulis grouping out there for the Tauros. Hagstrom and Tui on the defensive unit. Draw is controlled by the Tauros, sent to the near side. Hagstrom will ring it around the Bobcat net. Bobcats take this one away, work it to Dahl along the near side. Dahl will try to throw it off the glass. Morelli with a good takeaway there, but it's going to be whistled dead.
They say he played it with a high stick.
A high stick. So the draw is going to come out into the Tauros zone.
Draw will be to the left.
Owens on the draw for the Tauros. Wiskowski out there for Bismarck. Tauros quickly clear this one. Tabulas pressuring Reed. Gathers it along the near side. Will fire it into the neutral zone. It goes wide of his man, so the Tauros will chase after this into their own defensive zone. Far side corner. Reed frees it up, or excuse me, Wiskowski frees it up. Fires one. It gets tipped down to the near side. Shots thrown in by Sandvin. Lots of bodies in front of the net of Swedin. So the puck squirts to the far side corner. Tauros break this one up. It's Fleming. Had it for a brief moment. Owens now carrying the neutral zone. He gives it near side to Morelli. Morelli reaching out for that one, but the puck will go wide of his stick, so the Bobcats will control. Good takeaway there by Morelli, though, getting back into the center of the ice before hitting the bench for a change. Tauros along the far side board. It's Yohala. Yohala will lose that one. Sipniewski will carry it up ice for the Bobcats. Perot chases a puck behind the Tauros net. As Yohala gets tied up and taken down as he tried to work up ice. So
Tauros have iced the puck, though, as well.
The Tauros are going to go to the First Western Bank and Trust power play, and I believe that's going to be good for, let's see what the sixth Bobcat penalty of the night. Of course, the two came on the double minor. I was just a little late on the replay there for our Facebook friends, but Yohala was taken down there by Sipniewski, so he's going to be sent to the box for a hooking. Near side, neutral zone draw. Tauros control. James cross ice pass to Spencer. Spencer loses the puck as it goes off the boards. As a quick takeaway here by Kren. Kren carries it into the offensive zone. Tauros with a quick tie-up as Batten corrals and turns it back up ice for the Tauros. It's Johannesson throwing it in behind the Bobcat net. Bobcats controlling that one for a second. James does a nice job keeping this one in at the blue line. He leaves it for Spencer. Spencer tries to give to Yohala. Bismarck with a takeaway in a clear, courtesy of Kidu Kren. Yohala carries it in, gives it to Yohala. Yohala off the boards as he ends up in the near side corner. Puck run around. Spencer will get a stick on it as Yohala's pinned up against the boards. James from the blue line will give it back to Spencer. Far side, Spencer will patiently look for an angle and eventually just decide to give it to Yohala. Yohala near side to James. James back up top to the blue line. Johannesson gives it to Spencer. Spencer fires one. That one tipped back out of the neutral zone.
Good block by Rowan.
40 seconds remain on the power play for the Tauros. 12:45 remaining in regulation. Far side, Johannesson chops it in for the Tauros. Bismarck pursues as they once again get a clean clear out of the zone. It's Svedin out of his net with 25. Far side to James. James works it to Owens in the neutral zone. Owens carries it across the blue line. Nice stick handling there as he'll eventually look to find Edwards. Good job there by Dress to keep in the offensive zone. Dress will fire one. I believe that went off the stick of Carlson in front of the Bismarck net. Dress with another shot that's blocked this time by Sandvin. Bismarck comes full strength. Kren carries it along the blue line in the neutral zone as his shot goes wide right of the net. Sipniewski in the far side corner. He's being held up there by Spencer. Puck rolls into the far side corner. Tauros nagging on defense here as Hagstrom with an aggressive take there to body Sipniewski as Sipniewski handled it. Eventually gave it down behind the Tauros net. Tui working along the boards. It's Lato that frees up the puck. Sipniewski with a shot that goes high and wide of the net. Tauros trying to clear this out of the zone. Lato keeps it in. Lato skates to the far side. He looks to give it to Engel. Puck goes wide and eventually is controlled by Kene. Kene
working without a stick. And I think they're going to call a trip on Swedes. He went for the poke check and took the feet out of the attacking Bobcat. So the Toros are going to have to pick someone who is on the ice to serve it, I think.
That's exactly what it was. Not a terrible take from Svedin, as Kenny was skating that one right into the center of the ice, but just unfortunate.
So it'll be served by Dress. So it's a trip on Swedes, but served by Dress.
So 11:17 to go in regulation here. Offensive zone draw comes to Svedin's right side. Rowan in on the draw. It's set near side to Kenny. Kenny will give it back to Rowan. Rowan along the near side. Back to Kenny. As he'll fire one that went off the pad of Svedin and out to the far side. Kren will pick it up for the Bobcats. Good stick there by Spencer, but Rowan will continue to gather the puck and control for the Bobcats as eventually a puck is sent on net. And
a very late whack on Swedes taken by Gabe Kenny. Much to the dismay of Hagstrom.
Another look at that.
Camera screened on the play by the bodies. Minute 35 left on the kill.
Draw will come back out to that same spot. It's going to be Rowan once again out there for Bismarck. Owens in on the draw for the Toros. Quick shot that's blocked through traffic as Kim tried to get a clean look at that one. Angle from the blue line will give it back along the far side boards to this time Kren. Kren skating in the far side corner. We'll work it around the Toro net. It's Kenny in the near side as Angle controls and will fire one that's batted down in front of the Toro net. Kim, far side corner, will ring it back around. Toro's still looking for a clear here. Eventually, they'll get it. 1:05 to go on the power play for Bismarck. Rafalski behind the Bismarck net will eventually start up ice into the neutral zone. Rafalski carries it across the blue line. Will fire one that's soaked up and saved in the chest of Lucas Svedin. 47 seconds remain on the Papa John's PK for the Toros.
This one's certainly getting chippy. We're seeing more and more after the whistle.
Small, Hagstrom, Spencer, and Gibbs are out there for the Toros. Draws controlled by the Toros. Gibbs will whack it to the far side corner and eventually towards the direction of the blue line. Good job there by John Small to get a stick on that one and clear it back down the ice. Rafalski will once again take it out of his own zone. He'll give it far side. Kren will work it into the far side corner. It's dug up and out of the boards and fired towards the net. That was Bannister with a good opportunity there
on the redirect.
And an even better job there by Svedin to keep it out of the net. Another opportunity there for Bismarck as Lucas Svedin continues what has been a fairly and actually really good weekend in net given the shots that he's faced. Toros are back full strength, but Bismarck still working the offensive zone. Near side corner, cross ice pass to Bannister. Bannister will send one in front of the net as John Small falls down and hacks it free towards the near side. Toro still working out of the zone, eventually sending it into the neutral zone. Bismarck controls and dumps it in as they'll finally get a change off. That puck is going to go far enough for
that should bring the draw all the way down. It went over the glass. It hit the front of the mezzanine from their side of the red line, so it's treated like an icing.
So the draw is going to come out to Anderson's left side. Toros looking to hand this Bismarck team their first loss of the season, and haven't watched every single one of this Bismarck games, but you have to think that this has been one of their tighter contests to date.
Timeout taken, I believe, by Bizzo off the icing.
Shots on goal in favor of Bismarck, 33-25. Bismarck creating a little separation on the power play. Bismarck out shooting the Tauros 6-2 in this period. Both teams with a power play goal. But, you know, when you
Bobcats certainly have pushed back from the score since they gave up the game time goal. The power play, of course, helped that the last few minutes.
Tauros have done a nice job defensively because, you know, that goal by Bismarck did come fairly early into that second period of play, so the Tauros have played a period and a half of really good defensive hockey. So we'll break from the timeout here. Once again, that draw is on the left of, I should say to the left of Anderson. Funk is on the draw for the Tauros. Tauros freed up, Stress with a quick shot that's gloved and held by Anderson.
I like the play off the draw. That was a set play. Playoff atmosphere here in October.
Yeah. Edwards will give it to Mahler. Mahler will throw in towards the net. It ends up on the left side of Anderson. Bismarck will control as Dahl tries to settle the puck down to the neutral zone. Eventually it's cleaned up and carried into the offensive zone by Rowan. Rowan will send one in. It will end up in the near side corner. Tauros shovel it high up into there, back in the neutral zone. Trevino works it down the board to Dahl. Dahl will throw it into the offensive zone for the Bobcats as Mahler will throw it off the glass. As Edwards will gather it for the Tauros as Mahler will start back up ice. He'll enter the neutral zone. Good poke there by Bismarck to break up that rush by Mahler. Tauros, though, take it back. It's O'Hannison along the near side into the offensive zone. Quickly taken away and cleared the distance for an icing by Bismarck.
Shots 33-26. I can't remember the last time the Tauros were outshot in a game. But right now, that's exactly what's facing the Tauros.
Draw to the right side of Anderson. Yahala controls the draw for the Tauros. O'Hannison along the near side of the ice. He'll put one towards the center of the ice. Nobody home for the Tauros. It's thrown back out of the neutral zone by the Bismarck Bobcats as O'Hannison will carry it in. Will throw it just wide of the glove of Anderson. Bobcats poke it back out of neutral zone. Tauros will reset. O'Hannison will send one in. It'll ring around the Bobcat net. Uhala far side boards. Puck will find its way to Tui along the far side point. Tui will send it down the ice, but takeaway by Carlson as Kim will carry the neutral zone across the blue line. Will shoot one off the pad of Svedina. Rebound out to the far side. Lato along the far side boards looking for Sandvin near side. Sandvin will get pressured, but will get a stick on it, so he'll tip it to the near side corner. Tauros, though, work it back out of the neutral zone. 6:58 to go. Third period action here in Minot. Both teams will get some fresh legs on the ice. As passes fan on it. Owens takes away the offensive zone. Owens will fire one that goes off the blocker.
I think it hit the shaft of the stick based on the sound. It didn't sound like pad. It sounded more like stick.
Far side, it's controlled by Rafalski as it's just sent down the ice and controlled by the Tauros. Tauros will ring it around the back of the net of Anderson. Near side scrum. Bismarck will come up with it. It's Sibnewski into the offensive zone along the far side. Gibbs with a good poke there as Tabulis was also in on the pressure for the Tauros as it's worked back up into the neutral zone. Bismarck will send it in off the stick of Rafalski. Svedina will glove it. Tip it down to the near side. Good job there by Roloffs to take it away for a moment in the offensive zone for the Bobcats. Tauros, though, take it back away. A coin will start back up ice. He gives it to Gibbs. Gibbs in the neutral zone. It's backhanded and dumped into the offensive zone. Small will chase after this one as Bismarck working to the far side. Nice stick there by Spencer as he'll throw one into the glove of Anderson. 5:35 to go, third period action. So the draw is gonna come back out into the offensive zone for the Tauros. A coin is out there with Spencer, Small, Fleming, and Mahler.
This line has both goals for the Tauros already this evening. Spence has one, Small has one. Let's get one for a coin.
Bismarck will win the draw as skated to the near side. Takeaway here by Spencer. Spencer will give it to Small in the offensive zone. Small will fan on the initial shot. Try to get a second shot at it, but will fan on it. Tauros still control as the puck is just sent wide, so it'll trickle back up into the neutral zone. Tauros will reset it. Small out of his own zone. Cross ice pass to Mahler. Mahler from the far side will throw it around the net of Anderson. Puck work to the near side, controlled by Dahl. Dahl ships it back into the neutral zone. Tauros will send this one in as they'll go for a change. Dahl will do the same for the Bobcats. Back and forth we go, 4:44 to go. Near side to Batten. Batten across the blue line. Carlson with the pressure. Batten continues to maintain possession though as Hannison is in on the near side for the Tauros. Yahala digs along the boards as well. Buck will squirt back up into the neutral zone. Batten will control it for the Tauros. He'll give to Gibbs. Gibbs near side to James. Pass that was towards the direction of O'Hannison. Went a little wide, sent off the boards in the neutral zone. James will shovel this along the boards near side in the offensive zone. Vig controls far side corner for Bismarck. Sandvin will get a quick touch on it as Carlson controls and throws it to Sandvin. Sandvin back up in the neutral zone as Bismarck will now work up ice. That's Gaspar skating in front of the Toro net. That one sent wide. Bismarck with another shot that goes into the glove. This time,
that's a big save by Lucas. The Tauros were scrambling in their own zone. Lucas holding on to that allows everyone to take a breath and reset.
Another look at that as Svedin continues to look good on the weekend. Just the lone goal last night and plenty of good saves along the way. As this draw will come out to his right side, Small will win the draw for the Tauros. Fleming is sent in behind the Toro net as he shovels this along the near side boards. Both teams will work in. Ruskowski will come up with the puck in the near side corner. Pressure brought by Fleming and Small as this is worked now around the net to the far side. Small will get a stick on it. He initially tried to hack it to the near side, but was forced to send it the other way. Both teams, some physical play along the boards. Tauros will eventually free this puck up. Mahler will send it to Fleming. Fleming behind the net. Svedin will start the rush back up ice as he gives it to Small. Small in the neutral zone. Spencer with a touch on it as puck found its way back to Small. Small was taken down as Bannister controls behind the net. Good takeaway here by Tui in the offensive zone. Tui will send one that was tipped down by a coin. 2:52 here remain in regulation.
Spencer got rocked early in that shift, but he seems to be okay.
Another opportunity here for the Tauros in the offensive zone. Funk is out there with Edwards, Tui, Hagstrom, and Dress. Face-off is sent to the far side. Trevino tries to get it out of the defensive zone. Tauros with a quick shot that's gloved and held by Anderson. Draw will come back to the same spot. I believe it's Rowan on the draw for the Bobcats. His Dress will throw one wide left of the net. Angle had it for a moment. Dress, though, with another takeaway. Dress skating in, will fire one that goes off of Trevino. Tauros looking for the rebound along the near side boards. It's dug at and eventually freed up by Bismarck. Angle will send it far side. Tauros with another aggressive take in the offensive zone and eventually thrown in from the neutral zone and gathered by the Bobcats.
They need to change after a long shift in the defensive zone. That allows the Tauros to gather and start up on their own.
Tui near side is, he'll backhand this one in the offensive zone. A little rebound off the boards and is forced to be covered and held by Anderson as it took a weird bounce off the boards directly behind the Bobcat net. 2:02 on the clock in regulation. Bobcats 37-30 shot on net advantage over the Tauros. Tauros, though, with those 30 shots, have been fairly efficient, at least in terms of quality looks.
Well, we've seen a good number of the teams in the Central. We haven't seen Aberdeen or Watertown yet, or the Mallards, but
of course, the Tauros travel to St. Cloud. St. Cloud just took 2 over Aberdeen.
This already has the feeling as if this is going to be the battle for the division all season long.
This is skated behind the Tauros net. Yahala will work one free as James was held up there for a moment. Tauros send it into the neutral zone. Yahala along the near side. Puck finds its way in the offensive zone corner. It's freed up and controlled by Rafalski. Rafalski up ice as Kim will carry this along the near side across the blue line. Kim will fire one off. Oh, Svedin rebound out to the far side. Tauros clear it into neutral zone. It's Batten carrying it across the blue line. Batten will leave it for Yahala. Yahala will fire one that goes behind the Bobcat net. Good opportunity just wide for Yahala. It's Fleming will fire one that's soaked up and saved once again by Anderson.
Could you imagine if he had got one to go?
Literally got here, what at this point is still
35 hours, 36
still
hours ago.
Sat down, had a good interview with him on the Tauros All Access, but yeah.
Former Oklahoma Warrior who played for Garrett Roth last year. The year before that, he was a Bismarck Bobcat, so.
Offensive zone draw controlled by the Tauros. Mahler on the far side as James tried to get a hack at it towards the near side. Bobcats clear back up into the neutral zone. Mahler gets a stick on it, so he'll dump it back in for the Tauros. Near side, it's a coin working it to Fleming. Fleming from the near side point tries to go back to a coin. A coin couldn't settle that puck down, so it's thrown back around the net. Tauros still control. Small goes to Fleming. Fleming from the near side will pass it to center ice to Small. Spencer. Spencer will fire one that gets tipped wide off the stick of Angle. Bobcats clear back into the neutral zone. 30 seconds remain. Tauros control is they'll send this into the Bobcat zone. Bobcats, though, with a quick clear back up to the neutral zone. Mahler from the far side gives to Fleming. Fleming out of his own zone, back to Mahler. Mahler back to Fleming. Fleming along the near side, 10 seconds remain. This one sent into the neutral zone, gets tipped off of the stick of John Small. I think it's going to be called for an icing.
It is.
So that was pretty close there. So with 7 seconds, the Bobcats will have an offensive zone draw. It comes to Svedin's right side. Gasper, Kim, Kopetsky, Angle, and Trevino are out there for the Bobcats. Gaspar will be the one on the draw. Small in there for the Tauros. Tauros win the draw as Spencer just elects to throw this one down the ice as the horn sounds. We're through 3 periods of play. We're tied up at 3-3. We got extra hockey. So both teams will head to the benches for a brief break here before the extra frame. And it was a goal that decided it last night. It's going to be another goal that decides it tonight.
So, 5 minutes of 3-on-3. I believe this is our first overtime game, if memory serves. Here's a look at that other one that didn't go back in the second period. Either way, 3-on-3 for 5 minutes, and then a 3-round shootout. And the way these two goalies have played the last 120 minutes of hockey, a 3-round shootout could mean that we're here until Monday. There are certainly some good offensive players on both squads, but it'll be a tough go to get anything, I would imagine, in a shootout against these two guys.
You know, that was the thing on Thursday night too. It was a 1-0 game, but you said it, Ken, and I mentioned it to you after the game. You said we would have been surprised if it was a 5-4 game, just given the quality of saves that both netminders made. So that has certainly continued into game 2 of this series. The grouping out there for the Tauros, it's going to be Small, Spencer, and Mahler. It's Kim, Gaspar, and Rafalski for the Bobcats. Bobcats control off the neutral zone draw. They'll skate this into their own zone. Rafalski leaves it for Kim. Kim will skate with some speed along the far side of the neutral zone. He'll cross the blue line and get poked at by Mahler. Puck will roll on net and be covered and held by Svedin. Through 16 seconds of the extra period.
Don't mind taking the face off there.
The Tauros win that one. Mahler behind the Toro net. He'll direct traffic. Kim with the pressure as Mahler decides where to go with this one. Mahler will eventually decide just to take this one himself, so he'll skate out of the zone to the far side, gives it to Small. Small into the neutral zone. He'll cross the blue line and skate to the far side. Good stick there by Kim as he takes it away in his own defensive zone. He'll cross the blue line along the far side and turn back around the Tauros net. Kim will pull it back up in the neutral zone as the Bobcats got some fresh legs on the ice. Tauros do the same. Gaspar in the neutral zone along the far side. He'll gain the line and deke through traffic and unable to pull the trigger on the backhand as he went wide. Leto along the far side in the corner. He'll throw it back up into neutral zone. Engel will take this one and skate into his own zone as the Bobcats reset. Tauros yet to really have a sustained possession so far in this overtime period. Engel.
Sometimes that ends up being a good thing, you see. So often watching overtime hockey, it feels like a team's pinned and then they get one chance the other way and get it to go.
Batten will carry it into the offensive zone for the Tauros. He'll work out of the far side corner. He'll send it to James. James being defended closely by Engel. He'll give it back to Batten. Batten from the center of the ice is. He'll skate along the blue line, keeping the offensive zone. Batten will skate in as he's met with some traffic, and he gives to James. James in the center of the ice, poked at by Leto. James still controlling as he skates behind the net of Anderson. James will send it off the boards as O'Hannison will field a pass and skate into the neutral zone. O'Hannison will turn back up into the offensive zone. Skates into the near side corner as he hits the ice. Puck pinned up along the near side boards as Wiskowski is in on the action for the Bobcats. Bismarck will eventually
What is all over the ice?
slow this one down. And
There's someone dropped something on the ice by the Zamdor. I think someone on the mezzanine.
Uhala carries this through the neutral zone and across the blue line. He'll skate behind the Bobcat net. Uhala in the center of the ice. Once again, he's the goal leader on the year so far for the Tauros. 2:13 remain, and Uhala takes this back into his own zone and back up ice. Uhala gains the line, and we're going to get whistled for an offsides here. It's
just a pile of straws. Good job by the Mesa Arena ice crew to get that stuff off the ice.
It did fall in a very convenient spot right in front of that Zamdor, so luckily it wasn't elsewhere on the ice. The draw will come back up into the neutral zone. 2:05 on the clock here. Small, Spencer, and Gibbs are out on the ice for the Tauros. Small in on the draw. Bismarck will control angle out of his own zone. Will throw it off the wall. Small with a nice job there to take that one away. Puck sent into the Tauros defensive zone. Svedin out of his net will just allow Gibbs to take this one behind the net. Gibbs will start back up ice. He skates into the neutral zone, gives it to Spencer. Spencer across the blue line will fire one that's tipped by Angle. Puck will be in.
Turned on the Jets.
The near side corner is Bismarck will come up with the puck in their own zone. Minute and a half of hockey still to play. It's Kren in his own zone. Bismarck will get some personnel changes as Bannister, Kren, and Vig out on the ice now as Rowan will carry this.
There's more
up the
of
ice.
those.
So Rowan will fan on a shot. Good defense here by O'Hannison. Rowan will leave it for Vig. Vig will be forced to take it back up into the neutral zone as Rowan will take it back up ice here as he'll give it to Dahl. Dahl will fire one that's rejected and denied, and another opportunity there for the Bobcats. Bannister was trying to hammer home a second chance point. Tauros keep this one right where it's at as they send it back up into the Bismarck zone. Bismarck will reset. Tauros now with a new grouping out on the ice. It's Yahala, Spencer, and Mahler. 27 seconds remain. It's thrown to the far side along the boards. Kim carries it into the offensive zone. Tauros poking at it. Kim near side will skate around as I believe he fired one on the net.
Off the outside of the cage.
Svedin didn't have a visual on that one as the shot came late. 10 seconds remain. Tauros control along the near side. Spencer cross ice pass to Yahala. Yahala across the blue line. He blows the tire and gives it to Mahler in the near side corner as the horn sounds. We're going to a shootout.
Oh, and Rafalski just cross-checked Mahler in the face. Well after the whistle. Forget a I mean, there's no power play. Time's expired, but he should be suspended for that. That was after the whistle, after the final horn. He cross-checked him in the throat.
Get another look at that.
Just an unnecessary play. Now the question is, if they give him a game misconduct, I don't think he's eligible for the shootout.
Assume that's the conversation happening at ice level here.
If it's anything other than an ejection, he would be, I think. Josh Carlock playing thriller, and that's what this one has been, Edward.
Yeah, and, you know, compared to tonight, I think Thursday night's game.
And Rafalski is done for the night. I don't know that he would be, as a defenseman, I don't know that he would be in the lineup for the shootout anyway. But he's certainly not an option now. So, 3-on-3, the 3-round shootout, I should say, after the scoreless 3-on-3 overtime. It'll be interesting to see who Cody Campbell goes with first and who he chooses, or if he chooses to shoot first or second. Not sure what the long discussion here is. Tauros are going to shoot first, and it's O'Haney. Maybe not.
The Tauros are going to elect to shoot second here, so it's going to be Sipniewski in the first round for Bismarck. Mentioned Ken, both goaltenders very solid through two. Full-time Sipniewski will skate to the near side. He'll skate in close and fire one off the chest of Svedino. Tauros hold strong. O'Haney now with an opportunity here for the Tauros to go up in the shootout. O'Haney will take it at center ice. He'll skate to the near side. Skates up towards the center of the ice. Will fire one that goes wide.
I think it kicked off the leg pad and into the corner.
Gonna be Kim for the Bobcats. Kim picks it up. He skates to the far side. He'll into the center of the ice, and Svedin once again denies the Bobcats. So back and forth we go. Second round here. It's Small for the Tauros. Small will pick it up once again near side. Small will skate towards the center, and that one tried to go through the 5-hole.
I don't know who the Tauros' third shooter will be, but it's important to note, Ian Spencer only given a 2-minute minor, so he would be eligible. Same with Adam Mahler.
It's going to be Engel in the third round here for Bismarck. Engel to the near side. He'll skate in and fire one into the gloves of Svedin. Svedin 3 for 3. Tauros with an opportunity. It's going to be Juhala. Juhala, the goal leader for the Tauros. Juhala will pick this one up. Center ice. He skates to the far side. He'll enter the face-off circle, center ice, and fire one that goes off of Anderson.
The Tauros bench all up, both benches all standing, but the Tauros arm in arm that entire attempt.
Juhala took a little bit off of that one. Nevertheless, back and forth we go. Rowan will pick this one up for Bismarck. He skates in with some speed on the far side. That one goes off the pad of Svedin. So far, so good for both goaltenders. It's going to be Ian Spencer next for the Tauros. Spencer picks it up, center ice, works it to the far side. He'll skate in the middle. Spencer backhands and hits nylon. Tauros win. Ian Spencer, the hero tonight, as the Tauros top the Bobcats 3-2 in front of a raucous home crowd.
It was certainly a dramatic one. Whew. I have a feeling you can predict who our 3 stars are. I'll go back to that first period intermission interview.
Yeah.
How about Ian Spencer backing up the talk? An unbelievable finish. Here's your Liberty Tax 3 stars.
Stars of the game. Your third star of the game, number 18, John Small. Your Liberty Tax second star of the game, number 23, Ian Spencer. And your Liberty Tax first star of the game, number 60, Lucas Sweden. That's your Liberty Tax 3 stars of the game.
We've got Ian Spencer down on the bench with Lauren Hill.
All right, Middle Tauros fans, we are here for the post-game win interview with Ian Spencer. You scored that game-winning goal. How do you feel?
Hey, we're a good team. We're going to be better than Bismarck. We just need your guys' support. Let's go.
And does your opinion stay the same on Tomas Anderson?
Yeah, I say he's not that good. I mean, we're going to get him all year long.
Thank you.
That was your Liberty Tax 3 stars of the game.
Well, Lauren gave him a chance to walk it back.
Yep.
He did not.
Yep.
But, I mean, he backed it up tonight. So, the game-tying goal in the third. The game winner in the shootout. Tauros will head to St. Cloud next weekend. And I have a feeling they're going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you know, Tauros obviously take down a really good Bismarck team. The 12-0 record, I know Bismarck played, some of the expansion teams and whatnot, and they played three straight weekends at home. But they're a good hockey team.
Yeah,
for
sure.
A really good hockey team. Fundamentally, this team is exactly where it was at last year, if not better. Garrett Roth has done a fantastic job in leading this team in the first half of the year. So you really got to credit both teams in this series. But the Tauros get the win tonight. And as you mentioned and alluded to, will travel down to St. Cloud, which, by the way, has been on a little bit of a run themselves with a really good weekend for themselves against an Aberdeen team that had a lone loss coming into this weekend.
Yeah, schedule certainly doesn't ease up. 4 in a row against that good St. Cloud team that split with the Tauros here. So it'll be a difficult challenge, no doubt, next weekend. And then back here as the Great River rivalry keeps going. But I think the Tauros are going to take some time and enjoy handing Bismarck their first loss of the year.
Both teams will match up again almost a month to the day. It's going to be November 27th, Thanksgiving Eve, down in Bismarck. A 7:15 puck drop on that one, but I'm excited to see more of this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game the Wednesday before Thanksgiving down in Bizzo, but a lot of work to do before then. And we talk about the soft schedule for Bismarck a little bit, but for the Tauros, if you can get through this stretch after these 2 games with Bismarck, 4 with St. Cloud, 2 with Aberdeen, but then 9 games, 8 of them against the expansion teams.
Yeah.
So if you can get yourself back into playoff position, you have a chance to really, really expand on that.
And I think
in November and December.
From a confidence level too, if you find your footing against some of these tougher teams, knowing what comes after, I think that really helps you, especially in, a middle part of a season in November where you got a ton of games to play.
Yeah. Yeah, the extra game on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the Tuesday of New Year's Eve in Bismarck, but other than that, the Mallards, Watertown, Mallards, Austin, who we've swept. So it'll be a chance to maybe make some hay, but final thoughts, Edward, before we get out of here?
Man, it's not really. I'm at a loss for words, Ken, but really fun weekend. Both of these teams, we always know they provide some good games, some good memories, and like I said, I'm excited to see more games between these two, but for now, I think Tauros and company are going to enjoy this one.
That indeed. We will, well, I won't. Edward will talk to you from St. Cloud. Lauren and I will be on the pregame show, but we'll talk to you next.